role players. I do think Tim Hardaway Jr. can be that. He is overpaid. There's nothing we can do about that. But I think he's a good NBA role player. And now that Luka gives him his looks, I think he's going to be better here than he was in New York.
I mean, that's a really solid guy that you can have on your team. I think they would like to flip him, though, because the main objective has to become how do we get into a position to sign a third superstar.
Yeah. You have no assets left.
Yeah.
You traded the next draft pick you can trade is 2024 or 2025.
Well, maybe Hardaway plays well enough that a team with cap space gets to a point where they're like, hey, you've rehabilitated his value a little bit. Yeah. Maybe not now, but maybe by this time next year or something.
Well, that's another thing, too, is if Porzingis is going to just go to the qualifying offer, that helps out the Mavs in free agency. I know that we kind of don't want that because you want him locking in and you're like, okay, we got him long term. But if he does do this, if he's like, hey, qualifying offer type of deal, he's only going to make $7.5 million next year, which does open up money for you to spend in the offseason. If he does sign a 5-year, $30 million a year contract, that takes up your cap space, and now you're looking at a mid-level exception type of guy.
Do you think they could get in the big free agent game immediately?
This year?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Now, they can.
Well, the name they're throwing
if Harrison Barnes says I'm opting out of my contract, then yes, they can. And
playmakers in the building.
All right. Joining us now right here live from Radio Row. We've been here all week long. Coverage brought to you by Twin Peaks and Bud Light. It is the great Michael Irvin here with us. Brought to you by Alkaline 88. Is that right? The good fit there.
Perfect fit.
Yeah.
It's not a good fit. That's a perfect fit when you're talking about how can Michael get caught in with Alkaline 88. Now, guys, and first of all, let me tell you how I first got started with this. I went through this year with some real issues with my throat. And I went to the doctor. I had to go to the doctor, and the doctor stuck that thing down your nose. It goes all the way down your throat.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Just side note, I told Doc, I said, Doc, I hadn't had anything stuck in my nose in 25 years now. so you know what I'm saying? Just whatever. But do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he put it down there, and he went and looked, and it was the acid in my stomach.
Really?
Coming up, burning the bottom of my throat. And I mean, I was like, oh, my God, I'm about to lose 2 careers to injury because of the acid in my stomach. And then
it's
God
a water.
sent Alkaline 88.
Shoot, yeah.
It's pH balanced water. pH balanced water. Most waters are pH balanced at about 6 or 7, but this is 8.8, 88. It was a perfect God sent for me, and it helps balance the body and balance that acid. So now I'm back. I'm feeling good. I never had these problems at 25, but now at 25 backwards, I'm having these issues. So I'm telling everybody at 25, start drinking Alkaline 88 now. So when you get 25 backwards, you won't have the problems that I had.
Michael, are you and Steve Smith playing, or are you guys for real when it comes to y'all's discussions? When it gets heated?
It's all real. Steve, and Steve, most young guys now, in this social media world, I love Steve. I love him, and I want to help him in this business with whatever information that I know or I have. But he's a competitor. He is a competitor, and they love believing that what they catching passes is what it's all about. So Steve will throw out, man, I caught these many more passes than you. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. You played longer than I did. But I have to remind people. I get it all the time. Guys like Randy Moss, T.O., they always want to bring up how many catches people have. And they always say, well, I know he didn't win a ring. I say, you're right. He did not. And I am an S brother. He did not win a ring, and I am an S brother. What do you mean you're an S brother? I won rings, brother, and I won them on levels, brother. You understand what I mean? I didn't just win a ring. I won rings, and I won them on every level that I play on levels. So you can tell me you have more receptions, but it's really the receptions that led to championships. I beat gold jacket dudes to get gold rings. Did you do that? Then be quiet and step out of the way.
But why does he want to fight you? It seems like twice a week Steve Smith wants to fight you.
And I ain't fighting nobody. My fighting days are over. Those days are over. He just, he's a competitor. And, he's not the tallest competitor.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And so he has some issues, I guess, with tall people. I don't know. But hopefully those fighting days are over for him too.
What are your thoughts of Kellen Moore and the Cowboys offense going forward?
I find this to be an interesting dichotomy here. You know, Jerry and those guys, they strapped Coach Garrett this past year, when they took away Dez Bryant and then put on somebody that could possibly equal what the talent that Dez Bryant had. And early on that season was a tough season. Coach Garrett got it back on board and got us in the playoffs. The last two of the last 3 years, he's won the division and got him in the playoffs, and you're not going to extend him. And then you give him a rookie play caller in the offensive coordinator position. You know, I don't know. I heard they said Kellen Moore's a smart guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does and what he designs and all of that. But smart, it takes more than just exo smart to be a great offensive coordinator. You got to be people smart. You got to know how to bring the best out of people, how to design plays to bring the best out of people. Take talent and mash it into a system. And you're telling Coach Garrett, I'm not going to extend you, and I'm giving you this situation. If I'm Coach Garrett, I'll be working so closely with Kellen Moore that I may even be calling I may even go call my own plays because my tushy's on the line right here. So hopefully it'll work out for him. I thought they were too close to be making this kind of a decision, that they should go out and get a veteran play caller because you're that close. I don't want you to change the system. I don't want you to change the offensive system, but I thought they were too close to do it. They're going in this direction, so hopefully it works.
It seems like even though they, won the division and won a playoff game, that maybe we're closer to the end of the Garrett era than we could possibly imagine after a successful season like this.
And that's the business we are in. This is the tough business, man. It's not about winning games. It's about winning championships, and that's just the bottom line. That's why I always tell people, number one, when you talk about pressure in this world from jobs perspective, that's the POTUS. You get that POTUS. But from 2 to 33, it is NFL head coaches, buddy. You can win games and you still be uprooted with your family and get out. And that, but on the flip side, Coach Garrett can make a run this year. You have all the tools. He has all the tools already in his toolbox. If he can motivate, inspire, and bring this team together with connectivity and go and win a Super Bowl, and he doesn't have a contract, and this league's about hot things and everything. Maybe he becomes the hot commodity and he can be looking at him a John Gruden kind of contract somewhere. I don't know. It can work both ways.
Who's the guy you would want to see him add to the team? You an Earl Thomas guy?
I would love Earl Thomas added to this team. I don't know why he didn't make the deal when they had the deal for that second round pick. I know later on they came back and offered the second round pick, but I'm a true believer in if you got talent, Don't hold on to talent you don't know, or you hope to know, or you think you will know one day. And I would have given up that second round pick just like I was happy to give up a first round pick for Amari Cooper. You think you can go find Amari Cooper in this draft? No, you're not going to find Amari Cooper. And that was a great trade, and I absolutely would have given up that for Earl Thomas, and hopefully that's still a possibility.
So, Michael, you've been on our show for years, and you've talked about Jason Garrett's offense, and I know we just talked about Kellen Moore's a man-beat-man offense.
Right.
And there's a lot of analytics coming out that Ezekiel Elliott 40% of the time runs in a loaded box, where Todd Gurley runs into a loaded box 6% of the time in the 2018
because
season.
They go out of 11 personnel.
So where do you think the Cowboys or the NFL is going with to maybe make it easier on Ezekiel Elliott to even be better than he is?
No doubt. And that's exactly where we're going with it. How many 4th and 1s? There's no way we should have missed. Red zone issues that the red zone issues that the Dallas Cowboys had, there's no way they should have had those red zone issues. If you can run the football, that's usually the first thing to make sure that you're having a good red zone. That's not the case for the Dallas Cowboys, because everybody knew that all you have was a turn and hand that ball off to Ezekiel Elliott, and they piled into the box. So, yes, that's what Kellen Moore has to come up with. More simple ways to get 1 yard, to get 2 yards. All the big stuff up the field will come. And you see guys with it. They run rub routes, put people in motion, run simple rub routes, and sometimes on this 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, let's just dump that ball off and get easy plays. That's exactly the issue that they have to discover.
How about Michael Gallup? How much better can he be in year 2?
Did he come on great?
Yeah, he sure
in the end, man.
Yes, sir.
And all the receivers started playing well. By my eyes, maybe not Cole Beasley eyes, but by what I saw after you got that number 1 receiver, because everything fell into place. I stopped asking the 3 to be the 2. I stopped asking the 2 to be the 1. Everybody can slide where they belong and play football. And Michael Gallup came on so well in the end, man. I'm looking forward to see how much better he is in year 2.
What would have happened if on the mid-'90s Cowboys they had said, Mike, it's 4th and 1, so we're going to take you off. We got to bring all these tight ends in, and we're going to run the ball every time.
And we did. We did do some
take you
of
off
that.
the field.
Yeah,
for that?
we did do some of that on 4th and 1, on 3rd, 4th and 1. We went big. We went big, and it worked. It worked. Now, so I wouldn't have had a problem with that. Now,
so this is your guys' fault. It worked then, so Jason wants to do it now.
And that's the issue right there. That's the issue now, where maybe it may have worked if you still had Travis Frederick there, and everybody intact at their best. It may still be working. But to that, what you just said, because that's a great question you asked me. What would have been my thought? Now, let's go to Antonio Brown. Everybody's all killing Antonio Brown, and it is unexcusable for him to miss that Saturday meeting before the game. But I would have had a problem if Troy Aikman went on the radio and said, with the game on the line, I should have thrown all 4 passes to Juju Smith-Schuster, or I should have thrown all 4 passes to Alvin Harper. Immediately, before he got the Harper out of his mouth. He said, man, Michael's calling me right now. Michael's calling me right now. Like, what the hell are you doing? No, what are you saying? That I would have had a problem with. You know what I'm saying? So when I see what Antonio Brown's going through and the problem he has with Big Ben, I'm like, yeah, Big Ben knows he should be saying stuff like that. That's a dig at AB. Yeah. You cannot say that when you're the number 1 receiver. You're not okay with that.
Well, Michael, I'm going to give you props. You called his name on draft day, and we were concerned about Jalen Smith and if he was ever going to be close to what he was at Notre Dame, but it's starting to happen.
I told you guys that.
Sure did.
I told you, and I had the card. I still have that card. Remember, I told you I kept his card, and I'm going to have him sign that card the day he walks in to that Nishki luncheon when he gets in the Hall of Fame. And dude, has he not turned that thing up? Man, I watched that Saints game. I mean, watch his ability to track from sideline to sideline. And when he had Alvin Kamara that time, I said, Kamara don't want to play anymore. This game over. We got it. I mean, he's phenomenal, man. Him and that young kid we got Leighton Vander right now, that's what I'm saying. Dallas got all the tools they need to be in this football game, and they could be in this football game next year. Next year, they have everything they need.
You enjoying your time in Atlanta?
I always enjoy my time in Atlanta. Sometimes too much. The last Super Bowl we were here, we enjoyed our time too much. I remember walking off the field and Eric Williams looked at me. We were down to Buffalo. He said, hey, man, you think we enjoyed this too much? I said, oh, hell yeah. I said, come on, we got to get back on track. So Jimmy came back out, and we must have run the ball 10, 12 straight times to get us back on track, get our heads back into the game, and we ended up winning that game. But yeah, you love this city. It's a great city to host the Super Bowl.
Last one, LA, New Orleans, or New England in this one?
Yeah, I'm taking New England in this game right now. I'm leaning towards New England, but LA has all the tools they need to win this game in the end. They can press up middle. They can press the receivers, but having the tools and operating are 2 different things.
Thanks for the water, the Alkaline 88. It's crisp and cold and delicious, hydrating.
It's the best water in the world, man. I'm telling you, the best
it's
water.
It's tough your throat went bad because you don't yell too much.
Yeah, I know. and now it's good as long as I got this right here, keeping that acid down in my body so I don't lose my throat. That's what this water does. You want to keep the acid down in your body. But yeah, it keeps my throat right now.
Could you speak after the Seattle game, after the win in the playoffs? You were screaming that.
I could. I couldn't speak after that Seattle game, after the Saints game. And it took me a month and a half to get my voice back because I thought it was about me yelling and not the acid in my stomach. That's how I find Alkaline 88. Once I found this, the acid in my stomach started subsiding, and now I don't have that problem. I don't have that swollen throat. it's come from the acid.
How much does that acid get bubbling because Darren Woodson's not a Hall of Famer? Sorry, we're done.
I'm working on that.
You're working
I'm
on
working
that?
on it. Because
Thank you.
Darren Woodson should be in the Hall.
Thank
You're
you.
absolutely right about that.
There he is, the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank
We'll
you
see
guys
back
for
at
having
the
Cowboys.
Complex.
All right, Mike.
Thank you guys
There he
for having
goes,
me, man.
88 with us right here with Alkaline 88 on 105.3 The Fan. We'll come back and keep the party rolling here live from Radio Row. Our coverage brought to you by Twin Peaks and Bud Light. We have Andrew Zimmern scheduled, and I believe he's going to join us next year on The Fan.
The one place to grab The Fan wherever you go. Radio.com. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This CBS Sports Minute brought to you by the snoring expert at simplesleepservices.com. Get the right diagnosis, the right solution, the right treatment to help you wake up to better sleep.
This is John Feinstein with the CBS Sports Minute. Little Mary Sunshine had nothing on Roger Goodell. Actually, the Broadway show was conceived as a parody of lighthearted musicals. Goodell was apparently conceived as a parody of himself. The commissioner's State of the NFL press conference on Wednesday was another example of Goodell's ability to spin any question, any issue, any problem into sunshine and light. The New Orleans debacle? Well, our officials are human. But they do a great job and are all men and women, he quickly added, of the greatest integrity. The fact that 5 of the 8 coaches fired this season were minorities and only one of the new coaches is a minority, why the Rooney Rule has been admired and copied worldwide. Apparently, whether it's actually working is a separate issue. The ongoing Kaepernick effect on the league? Why, there's no doubt if a team thought Kaepernick would help them, he would have been signed. Seriously? Apparently. On and on. It's all just wonderful. Why, let's sing a song. I'm John Feinstein.
Hello, Tolos. Gavin Dawson back here with you live. Wanted to chat about our friends at D&M Leasing here with you real quick, because if you're looking for a new set of wheels, D&M's the best way to do it, especially here in 2019. You know, Fed's raised interest rates. You might have heard about that. I called D&M Leasing and I said, man, is there anything we can do about this? They said, absolutely. How about we lower interest rates for the Tolos, for the gbag Nation here in 2019? I said, man, that sounds great. So they did it. They lowered interest rates here. And all you have to do is give D&M Leasing a call and ask him for the gbag Nation special, and you can take advantage of that. D&M is the largest consumer leasing company in the country. Their large volume means large discounts. So let's take advantage of it. I'm getting pretty close to a new truck myself. Leasing is the best way to retire any negative equity you might have. And with D&M Leasing, you'll not only retire that negative equity, but you'll also get lower monthly payments. And you won't even have to leave the comfort of your home to get in that new car. D&M will deliver it to you wherever you are, home office, whatever it is. Hurry, take advantage of the special right now. Give D&M Leasing a call from any local area code and 35 LEASE, or visit them online at dmautololeasing.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Term Busters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
For all of our fan contest rules, go to 1053thefan.com/rules.
This is Rangers manager Chris Woodward, and you're listening to the home of the Rangers, 105.3 The Fan, KRLD FM, and HD1 Dallas-Fort Worth.
A radio.com station. Live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta.
Let's do this.
You're rolling with DFW's #1 midday show, the gbag Nation, on 105.3 The Fan.
It's hour number 2 live from Radio Row. Our coverage brought to you by Twin Peaks and by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of Super Bowl 53, as we continue in Atlanta. And one of our favorite guests last year at Radio Row in Minnesota, he is back again, one of the most influential celebrity chefs in the world. He's a radio host, he's a journalist, he's a critic, and, of course, a big TV star. Andrew Zimmern with us right here on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan.
Yeah.
Morning.
How are you?
Nice to see you again. I'm doing great.
Great to see you guys, too.
It's been a great week here in Atlanta.
You know, there's so many people. I mean, I hate to say it, in the run up to this weekend or the last couple of weeks, for those of us that are at this thing every year, and I think this is like 10 out of the last 12 for me or something like that, they're always like, oh my God, it's such a hassle. It's this and the airports and the travel and the restaurant and the early days and the late nights and blah, blah, blah. And I just like, I mean, you know something? Be grateful, because at some point we're not going to be here. And it is the most fun with the greatest people, great fans, great players, fun things going on. And the city is always so welcoming. Atlanta has rolled out the red carpet. Lots of people, from the greeting at the airport to just the attitude in town. So, yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. I mean, like, pinch me. There's going to be some time in my life where I'm going to sit there and I'm not going to get to do this anymore for one reason or another. And I'm the luckiest guy in the whole world.
That's why I wanted to have Andrew on. I mean, we're talking about food, but it's appreciation and wisdom and global perspective that you're getting here with this guy.
I don't know. Everyone has a choice, right? We can walk around being angry all day long, or we can have a little bit of an attitude of gratitude, because, life is fired at point blank range. The bad stuff happens to everyone. No one's immune. Our parents get sick. Our kids don't have a good year. Whatever it is. Be grateful for the fun stuff like this. I mean, we're sitting here. You guys were just talking to Michael Irvin.
Yeah, it was great.
The action, the activity. It's a blast.
And now we're talking to you.
Right.
So where have you been, Andrew? Where have your adventures and food taken you?
The last Friday, I was in Israel for the weekend, cooking a private dinner for a group there, and Israeli tourism and a bunch of folks. And, a weekend in Tel Aviv sounds crazy, strange, but one of the most exciting and vibrant cities on the world that people forget how great the food is. 12-month-a-year growing season, and they're on the water. Israel is a hot happening place right now for travel. And then I flew home for a night, then went to New York for 2 days, and then came here from New York City, and then get ready to go on book tour next week. So it's a really hectic 6 weeks for me. So, but I'm trying to stay positive.
So when you have a meal like that, I mean, you had flown to Israel to cook for somebody.
Yeah.
Does that make you a little nervous, or do you just got it aced every time? It's going to be bam.
I mean, here's the funny thing.
What if you burned it?
Well, great. I was about to say, but truly, that's the worry, right? You don't make food for 300 for 100 in case 100 portions get blown, right?
Yeah.
So you have to choose the right thing. I'm 57, not 27. I've done this enough. So even when I'm sending recipes to a site location, they've hired an external catering company, they've rented out a restaurant, I'm dealing with really great chefs over there. I pick stuff that's idiot proof. I pick stuff that I know when I get there, it's a problem. It's why I went 2 days early. First thing I did when I landed on Friday was I napped, because I got in at 6 a.m., napped for a few hours at the hotel. At 1 o'clock, I was at the host restaurant meeting with the chef, just in case there was a problem with some of our ingredients or something that I didn't like. And then unlike I learned a long time ago, you don't just let them do it and then show up 10 minutes for the guests do. I go in the day of the event and am cooking it's because I think it's fun to cook with chefs. I learned so much that Sunday cooking with the Israeli chefs at Claro Restaurant, Ron Shmuley and his team. Unbelievable. And learned so many cool things, and they were excited by the stuff that I was doing. And so, yeah, you do worry about burning stuff, and you just got to stay on it. And if in the food world, there's such a thing as too much delegation, and then there's sandbagging. Too much delegation is when you let other people carry too much of your own brand. That's a mistake. Sandbagging is when you do something that should be made right at the last moment before it goes out to people, but you do it the night before. And it just doesn't taste as good. And I learned, don't over delegate, don't sandbag. You do those two things, show up, do your best job. And plus, as much as it seems sort of like a drag, I was so honored. I mean, a big investment bank was having their big conclave. They were a big sponsor for the Celebrity Chef Birthright Tour that's going on right now. And I was part of the group that organized that. And so, I had, we're representing, American chefs and American cookery, and I want to make sure that we look good, So
and you do a damn good job of representing the red, white, and blue.
Thank you.
Last year, and I'm sorry I can't remember the place you went to, but you're talking about a culture that we have wrong in the United States, that we kind of get fed some things, and not food, but fed some things about a culture. Like, look, this culture is totally different than what just the basic thing that, in your last year of travel, have you gone somewhere where you're like, this is what people.
I think it's that way. I think I think we were talking about Syria and my trip there.
Okay.
But I go to a lot of countries where we may not like the governments. We may hear some stuff on the news about one aspect of their country or culture, but the people are amazing. I mean, they've just elected, a lunatic who wants to mow down the Amazon rainforest, which is, the source of a lot of the, very important oxygenation of our planet comes out of the single greatest landmass of greenery on planet Earth, and the current Brazilian president wants to, basically turn it over to the petrol companies. Now, that's a problem. I mean, anyone would say, let's conserve our natural resources. But let's not blame the Brazilian people for this, despite the fact that he, quote unquote, won an election. And, I'm not commenting on Brazilian politics, but just from a civics standpoint, the people of that country, the country itself is beautiful. So there are a lot of places that are misunderstood. I think Israel is very misunderstood. People fly into Israel, and the two things, well, the first thing that shocks them right away is that how green it is. And they're like, this is supposed to be a desert. But the Israelis figured out how to feed themselves and how to irrigate a desert, and have now turned what was topographically and geologically not an ideal growing zone over the last, 50, 60 years into something really, really magical in terms of food production. The people get along there. I was in Jerusalem, and, Christianity, Islam, Judaism all claim that city for themselves. That's part of the, geopolitical problem there. But when you're there and you're watching all these people from different faiths, like dancing, singing, eating, cohabitating together, you realize, oh my God, there's two sides of this. The boots on the ground side is that these are just people who share time with each other. They're neighbors, and they treat each other with dignity and respect. And when it gets up to a higher level in our world, we tend to have disorder where there actually is order. And it's a great lesson in why, citizen politicians and injecting greater change into our system constantly, fresh water all the time, is what keeps decision-making healthy. That's not an argument for either side. I'm talking about just fresh water in general is really, really important.
Great stuff here from Andrew Zimmern on 105.3 The Fan. So who are your favorite people to visit? Do you have a buddy in an exotic place, or a best friend on a beach in a village somewhere?
I'm lucky to have cultivated a lot of good friends in a lot of different places, and, a lot of different chefs. And, I'm obsessed and in love with China and its culture. Another country that, if you just read headlines in a financial journal, you may develop one opinion over, but when you actually visit the country and talk and hang out with the people, and I have a lot of chef. I was in Taiwan a couple months ago, and got to see some buddies and make some new friends. And so that's the beautiful part of travel, is that when I'm home, I don't meet a lot of new people. I go to work, I come home, I sit on the couch, I want to eat what I want to eat, I want to watch what I want to watch, on my TV, I want to sit in my underwear and my lazy boy. I don't really challenge myself when I'm at home. We're all fat, dumb, and stupid at home. But when you visit another country and really travel, you're challenged to go out of your comfort zone. You become, you lose the risk aversity. You try a language, you try new things. You're naturally more curious. You're naturally more patient, tolerant, and understanding. And so the friends that you meet abroad really become, in some cases, really, really important to you. And you export a lot of great things back into your life. It's why travel is a great prescription for global understanding. And it's actually what has brought me, is my travel gave me a mindset that got me involved in giving back. And now I spend 25% of my time involved with charitable organizations, and we see each other every year for a lot of reasons, but one of them is that I'm on the board of Taste of the NFL, which hosts tomorrow night's Party with a Purpose. It's our big gala where we raise the majority of our funds for hunger relief in the 32 NFL cities. It's an incredible thing. You start to look back and I think, well, why do I do so much stuff that's service work? Why am I trying to be more other-centered? Well, it's because through traveling, I saw people who are happy who have so little, and it's because they're other-centered. And I want some of that. I don't want to be miserable and in my own head all the time. And what a horrible way to live, you know?
Pure gold, man. Andrew Zimmern with us. Tim's saying we got to go, but let's get a little bit more in here.
Okay, sneak just quickly.
Yeah,
quickly. If I'm just looking from a food perspective, and this is obviously cheating because it's an opinion thing, it's based on your personal preferences, but I can take 2 vacations this year inside the United States of America for culinary purposes.
Just for food.
Just for food. Where should I go?
Well, I would go big and small. So let's go small. Go to Birmingham. Don't do it in July and August. Go in like a shoulder. Where do you live?
Dallas.
Okay. So when the weather's pretty nice there in March and April, you know. But sneak over to Birmingham, Alabama. The food scene is electric. There are great restaurants, high and low. The topography, the rivers, the hills, the countryside is unbelievable. You know, Miss Myra's for, you know, barbecue chicken, you know, Hot and Hot Fish Company, you know, Frank Stitz, any of Frank Stitz restaurants. I mean, it's just really legendary places to eat in, and it is a white hot food scene. And the weekend market down there is, you know, without peer with what's coming out of the ground. A great place to take. You've got an OU hat on, so I'm assuming that means you have a girlfriend.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Well, that's amazing because he's not an OU fan. His girlfriend has made him an OU fan over the last 2 years.
Well, that's the thing. If you're into chicks, it's the OU thing. And obviously, quite frankly, I knew the only reason it's working out for you is because of that.
Yeah.
And then when you go big, I would go during the summer to someplace that's a little cool. Go up to Seattle, do Seattle and Portland. You know, get to the Pacific Northwest because it's got a really unique take on food. I'd love to tell you to come to Minneapolis, which I think is the hottest food scene in America, not just because that's where I live right now. It just happens coincidentally to be white hot right now. But yeah, go up to the Pacific Northwest, do that. Go southeast and northwest.
Thank you, Andrew Zimmern.
And don't skip Vegas.
Don't skip us next year. We'll see you next year.
Miami.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a little warmer.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you so much for your perspective and insights here on 105.3 The Fan. We'll come back and chat with Mike Fisher about all the big Cowboys and Mavs news here on The Fan.
The only way you can take The Fan with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Don't live with pain? Try chiropractic. The Joint Chiropractic. Affordable pricing? Walk-ins welcome. No insurance needed. Visit the doctors at one of our 26 Dallas clinics or visit thejoint.com. The Joint Chiropractic. Relief, recovery, wellness.
I'm a real person, real voice, and a real face, even though you can't see it because, you know, radio invisibility. You know what else is super duper real? Geico Local Offices. A Geico Local agent could tailor fit a policy to you, which could save you hundreds on your car insurance. All because Geico Local agents keep it real, with real savings and real service. Really.
And there's more. A Geico local agent could help you with more than just auto policies, like motorcycle, boat, and RV insurance. Stop by or give them a call today.
Washing my nose, oh yeah. I'm a shower curtain, and I do one thing, keep water from leaking everywhere. So you see why I feel useless compared to Geico, who does so much more. Like, not only could Geico save you money, but they've been around for over 75 years. And they give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or on the Geico app. And they've got a 97% customer satisfaction rating. They do all this while I have to listen to this chucklehead. Oh, good, he stopped.
Washing my toes.
Oh, great, an encore.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
And then we'll get back on the clock for the rest.
It is winning time, gbag Nation. Text the word vocal to 72881. Vocal to 72881. Every hour, 16 past the hour, chance to win $1,000 in this national contest on your Turn It On, Leave It On station. 105.3 The Fan, back with Fish in a sec.
So I'm having a football watching party. Butcher board. And I really need some great food to make sure my buddies show up. If you serve it, they will come. I got it. I'm ordering Butcher Board, where they hack it and stack it.
Butcher Board, ranch to table, farm to table, dine in, take out, order online, and catering. 2 cool locations, Frisco and McKinney. Butcherboard.com. Check them out. Butcherboard.com.
Let's face it, there are sports bars and there are sports bars. But there's only one sports bar around where you can win big. The Bar and Book at Lone Star Park brings you the best and most thrilling pari-mutuel wagering every single day. Plus all the big games on huge screens and HD projectors, bold signature dishes, and a dozen beers on tap. So when you're ready to move on from watching winning on TV to doing the winning yourself, head to the Bar and Book, only at Lone Star Park.
Register at 1053thefan.com for your chance to win tickets to the Dallas Winter Boat Expo at Dallas Market Hall. The show will be in town February 1st through 3rd and February 7th through 10th. Tickets, details, and more info at dallasboatexpo.com.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
At Walmart, we give you more than just low prices. We give you low prices on the stuff you actually want. Low prices on the oh-so-tasty, farm-fresh, packed lunches with perfection groceries on your shopping list. Boom. All day, every day. Get more than low prices. Get low prices on what you love. That's what Walmart's all about. Save every day on lower prices at your local Walmart. Check out our green bell peppers, which are 48 cents each, and our limes, which are only 10 cents each. Prices may vary. Check your local store.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to forhims.com/order. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/order. That's forhims.com/order for your first month for just $5. forhims.com/order.
Welcome back, gbag Nation. Hope you're having a great day. It's time to talk with Mike Fisher. Segment's brought to you by the Exergen Corporation and brought to you by Mark Rubin at 1-800-Lawyers. If credit card companies are blowing up your phone, do what more fan listeners do. Make the free call to Mark Rubin at 1-800-Lawyers. Mark can fix it. He'll stop all the harassing collection calls and stress. 1-800-Lawyers, official lawyers of the Tolo. It's been such a huge 20 hours or so in the world of sports here with the Kellen news, the Jason Garrett news.
We got Porzingis!
And yes, that. And Mike Fisher joins us now to give us even more insights and perspective on these massive DFW sports stories as he does every day. Morning, Fish. How you doing?
Really good, and hopefully Porzingis is doing really well as well. The prognosis on that knee injury that he sustained on February 6th of last year and then had surgery on February 13th, the usual prognosis is a year. So I'm talking to some medical people last night, and they say, now that can be a little different if you're 7'3". That can have a different effect on it, but it's not a 2-year injury. It's a year injury. So it brings up the possibility that one of the reasons that he was increasingly disgruntled in New York is that they're in such tank mode that they kept him in injury mothballs, even though maybe he's not all that injured anymore. So I wonder if we'll see him on the court sooner than many people think. I wonder if the Mavericks will have any intentions of allowing themselves to even consider tanking themselves because no, they're not going to finish with one of the 5 worst records. But if you finish with, say, the 8th worst record, you have a 26% chance of having a top 4 pick. And then you would not obviously convey that projected pick to Atlanta. So there's still a lot of fun to be had. And I thought Dirk said it really well last night, Gavin, when we're talking about the price that they paid Dennis Smith Jr. and 2 picks that you would figure hopefully to be in the 20s, and you can live with that. Dirk said, when you get a chance to get a 23-year-old franchise player, you got to do it. And that's the bottom line.
So they didn't give any hint. They were just going with, we got to get him in here and take a look. I mean, it's almost been 12 months. If he can't play for the rest of the season, that would be a significant alarm. And I think he wouldn't pass his physical if he can't play after 12 months following an ACL.
Yeah, and of course that could be some sort of a disaster, I suppose, on Friday when they take their physicals that undoes it all. But understand that the kind of the back channels here. Casey Smith, their Mavericks trainer, is very talented and very connected. Donnie Nelson, Tony Ronzoni, very talented and very connected. Bill Duffy and the agents are all now. Bill Duffy's not his agent. We'll get to his importance here in a minute, but the agents are all important here. So I don't think there's a continuing horrible medical concern with KP. I wonder if the Mavericks would consider, should we put him on the court and try to win some games, or should we keep him in mothballs and let's try to lose some games?
So there will be a physical today, and they're going to have a press conference to talk about it or anything?
Yeah, I think it was I think Brad Townsend reported I don't even know what day it is, a Friday physical for guys. I am not aware of a press conference yet. Obviously, if there is one, we'll be all over it here at the Fan.
Okay.
Fish, how did the New York Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks in today's world be able to pull this off in 5 minutes with nobody knowing that this was happening? And we get the word from Tim McMahon. We saw a little tweet, and then 3 minutes later, we see Woj go, deal is finalizing right now. Porzingis is going to the Mavericks. I was like, wow, usually it takes there's a building point because of so much social media.
Yeah, Mark Stein, of course, now with the New York Times, who, by the way, is meticulous on these things and therefore never wrong, unlike some of the rest of the schmoes, including myself. Mark Stein is the guy that broke the story. As you know, Mike, this is a name that the Mavericks have pursued before. We wrote about this exclusive and talked about it here in gbag Nation in the summer of 2017. The Mavericks made a trade offer for Porzingis. He was disgruntled then. But Mike, I think what you're suggesting, and I'm sure you're right, this didn't happen in 5 minutes. It's way, but
they were able to keep it quiet. Yeah. Yeah.
So somebody did a good job of keeping a lid on it. And that's fine. This is a pipe dream that's come true for the Mavericks, assuming two things. One, his health, which I believe the Mavericks are in good shape there. And then two, the dollars and cents. And I'm seeing some people kind of write some scary things about the qualifying offer. It would be unprecedented for a guy coming off his rookie contract to say, no, I don't want to sign your 5-year, $158 million guaranteed deal. I want to sign a $4.5 million qualifying offer. Again, I think through back channels, that's already been understood through all parties that this is going to be a max player here once we get to the summer.
So you got two. Now it's all about getting a third. How's the prospects of that going to now change going forward?
Yeah, really hard cap-wise right now to do anything. Really hard to know exactly what you're going to do in the summer. Now you really want Harrison Barnes and Dwight Powell to opt out. Because if they don't, you don't have room to do much of anything else. So we're talking about Vucevic, the center, who, by the way, is a 2012 guy in Orlando, and a Euro. So he'd fit the Euro Dallas culture, and he'd be your center, and that's ideal. Now, how do you do that? Well, his agent's Bill Duffy, who represents Luka Doncic, who hated the Mavericks for 15 years before Donnie miraculously developed a relationship again with Duffy, which helped get Doncic here. So this news now about Vucevic, who's the Mavericks have coveted, they've coveted him for a little while. The fact that Bill Duffy is representing him and that name is now out there in the atmosphere tells you that somebody is working to create a way for Harrison Barnes to not be here this summer and or for Dwight Powell to not be here this summer, because that would be the summer way to trade for Vucevic. And then, General, I'll give you one more, as long as we're pipe dreaming, and why not dream big? Something big just happened. We get to the trade deadline next year, and we get to the summer of 2020, and you could do this again. And now you've got the foundation of a 19-year-old budding superstar, a 23-year-old budding superstar, and the invitation idea that players would want to come and play with those two guys. Certainly all the great Euro stars were going to want to.
Mike, last question for you. A week ago, there was a lot of rumors, and you were talking about it. Hey, DeMarcus Cousins, there's interest from the Dallas Mavericks. Do you think after getting Porzingis that interest fades, or that there will still be interest this offseason in DeMarcus Cousins to Dallas?
If I can somehow have Harrison Barnes opt out, then I can still do something like that. Now, Mike, I'll ask you this because you lived it as a player on some level. Harrison Barnes can sit here and for one more year, and he's got his what is it, 24 million here, Mike? Something like that.
I think it's 27 next year.
Okay, but in this, the argument is in this market where there's going to be room, there's going to be movement. Maybe Harrison Barnes will opt out because he can get more, faster, bigger. And if he does, and God bless Harrison Barnes, he's trying to do the right thing here. It's not working, but he's trying. If you could have him exit, then the entrance of some player like that is possible.
What do you think of everything that's happened with Jason Garrett over the last month or so? What is his job status? I mean, this not getting an extension, going to Kellen Moore as offensive coordinator, it almost makes me feel like, was it possible they considered letting him go after being out in the divisional round again, Fish?
I think he feels like he's dangling by a thread.
Yeah.
I think his prickly dealings with the media in Orlando, wildly uncharacteristic for him, wildly, are a result of his being miffed because, and we joked about this the other day, Kavanaugh and myself, but we're not really joking. He turns on 105.3 The Fan and he hears respectable journalistic voices bringing up Sean Payton being the future coach of the Cowboys. He hears us talking now, with all due respect to Bristol, he hears us, we've been talking for 3 weeks about he's not going to get an extension. That every day that goes by is another piece of evidence, because yesterday would have been a good day for an extension. So would today have been. So would beating Seattle. When they beat Seattle and he didn't get an extension, that was your sign. And I think all of that.
All right, Fish, we got a guest coming up, man.
Okay, I think that's rubbed him the wrong way. Here comes Kellen and Kitna with one last gasp to try to fix it.
All right, bud. Have a good one.
Salute.
Take care. He's at Fish Sports on Twitter.
Shout out to Bassick.
That's how I do it.
Bassick doesn't care.
Oliver Luck joins us next year on The Fan.
All right, let's talk about DFW security and security cameras because they're not all equal. DFW Security has the best with their video analytics service powered by Alarm.com. Uses artificial intelligence to make sense of what your cameras see in real time, and it can tell whether an object in your driveway is a person, an animal, or a vehicle. Here's some of the examples. You're going to get alerted when a vehicle stops outside of your home, but not every time a vehicle drives past. You're going to get notified when someone lingers on your front door, but not when the mail's being delivered. Know if your pet breaks the rules to nap on the couch when you're at work, or if your neighbor's dog pays an unwelcome visit to your lawn. It's simple. It's really simple with DFW Security Smart Security Package powered by Alarm.com. Here's what you're going to get. Great package here. DFW Security Smart Home Hub, a doorbell camera with two-way audio, 2 HD outdoor cameras with video analytics. And the first 10 callers to call right now at 888-507-2344 and mention Mike will get free professional installation and free equipment. Both of those for free if you're the first 10 callers right now at 888-507-2344, less than $2 a day. All you pay is the first month of service to get started. The number again, 888-507-2344, or go to dfwsecurity.com.
Coming up today on the Ben and Skin Show, it's our final day in Atlanta for Super Bowl 53, and we'll have the Backstreet Boys and Greg Jamings, plus Kevin Harlan. Oh, it's going to rock. Roll home with your homeboys from Richardson, Ben and Skin, 3 to 7 on 105.3 The Fan.
Previous segment of The Fan was brought to you by Exergen.
Cold and flu season is around the corner, and people with conditions like heart disease, asthma, and cancer are especially at risk. Use the thermometer that you and your family can trust, the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 70 clinical studies, and it's the leading thermometer used in hospitals.
Do you suffer from a case of the Mondays every day of the week? Are you tired of donuts leaving a hole in your breakfast? Do you lack the energy to literally whistle while you work? Then Muscle Milk Protein Shakes just might be what you need to turn your mornings around. Packed with 25 grams of protein, vitamins, and minerals, Muscle Milk Protein Shakes have everything you need to keep you going strong all day long.
Pick up 2 Muscle Milk Protein Shakes for $5 today at your local racetrack.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
The average smoker tries to quit up to 30 times, and many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers, for smokers, to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. If you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Listen to the Ben and Skin Show for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Carlos Santana and celebrate his landmark Supernatural album and his historic 1969 Woodstock performance on the Supernatural Now Tour. It's going down Saturday, July 6th at Dos Equis Pavilion. For more ticket information, go to livenation.com.
Yo, Ben and Skin here, and the big game is right around the corner. And Barbecues Galore has you covered with all your party essentials. Whether you need last-minute supplies like charcoal, rubs, sauces, accessories, yes, they've got you covered. Need a grill? They have grills starting at just $199. They have patio furniture, bar stools, fire pits, and they can finance those items. 24-month interest-free financing. Barbecues Galore has everything you need to get your big game party on like a champ. Stop by and let the experts set you up. Barbecues Galore, not just a barbecue aisle. It's a barbecue stove.
Julie Leslie, COO, The Howard Group.
Oscar was my fourth interview for Director of Operations. It was overwhelming running the day-to-day and being the COO as well, so I posted the job on LinkedIn. His profile was impressive, but what really connected with me was how passionate Oscar was about something as logical as operations. We started discussing Excel, that led to process flows, databases, agile development. When the interview became a geek out session, I knew we had to hire him. I don't know how we would have found Oscar without LinkedIn Jobs.
Find your next hire with LinkedIn Jobs. You'll reach people you won't find anywhere else. We look beyond job titles to learn who you're looking for. Then we match people with the right skills and experience to your role.
I thought we were looking for a Director of Operations, but we were really looking for an Oscar.
Start hiring with LinkedIn Jobs today. Go to linkedin.com/Dallas and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/Dallas for your $50 off. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's what you missed from Super Bowl Radio Row in Atlanta.
Turn on Facebook Live.
This is what it is.
You'll see Dak Prescott on the home of America's team.
Dak's Rob!
Woo! I guess your people didn't tell you until we just got here who you were sitting down with Dak.
I thought I had a restraining order.
You did. I think you still do. I've got the paperwork somewhere around here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you lost it.
Live all week from the ATL. It's 105.3 The Fan.
This segment of The Fan is brought to you by Dallas Truck World. They have over 1,000 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced below market value. Check out DallasTruckWorld.com, y'all.
Okay, he played 5 seasons for the Oilers in the 80s at quarterback, current CEO and commissioner of the XFL. He ran NFL Europe, former GM and president of the Houston Dynamo in the MLS, and he's Andrew Luck's dad. He is Oliver Luck with us on 105.3 The Fan. It's great to meet you and have you on our show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Gavin. Thanks for having me. It just shows I can't hold a job very long, right? So
yes, or you're a very popular man.
Well, one of the two. I don't know. Probably
Skills in high demand.
Probably the former.
Well, it was. Let's start. It was obviously a big year for the Luck family, I think. And from the outside, we didn't know if Andrew was going to come back and play like he did, but he did. Was that a relief? How'd you guys feel going into it? How confident were you that it would be good?
Well, he went through a rough, year and a half, quite honestly, of having to do rehab, right? Labrum, tricky little thing in the throwing shoulder. And I think for probably, all the way up to maybe April or May of this past year, right prior to the start of the season, I'm not sure he really knew if he was going to be able to throw like you have to throw to make it in the league, right?
Yeah.
So it was challenging, right? Because all this rehab stuff is as much mental as it is physical.
Yeah.
He had a great team around him, including Tom House, the guru, right, who really is a remarkable guy. I've been honored to sort of get to know him a little bit.
Cool.
But yeah, we were happy to see him be healthy and throw. And I think, it took him a couple of games to really trust himself, because you got to get those balls in really tight windows, obviously, and there's not much room for errors. So I think by sort of week 4 or 5, he trusted himself to do what he had to do. So we're just happy he's healthy and he can get back on a more normal schedule, right? Play your 18 or 19 or 20 games or whatever it is, go as deep as you can in the playoffs, take some time off, and then get ready to go in April or May and be fully confident you can do it, as opposed to having to inch your way back into sort of that confidence level.
So is the guy basically in charge of the XFL, CEO and commissioner, right?
Yeah.
We all remember the first run of it, and it
was bad. It was bad.
It really
No,
seemed like it was an attempted WWE meets football crossover, and obviously didn't go all that well. But football is king. Like, what were the keys in, first of all, you saying yes, I'll come on board, and the directions that need to be gone to fix it?
Sure. So I'll be the first to admit, and I think Vince would admit if he were sitting here, that it didn't go well in 2001. It was 18 years ago. And it didn't go well because, as you say, it was sort of this crossover attempt, right?
I really did enjoy watching guys just chase a football to determine who was going to get it. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. But you wouldn't do that today, right?
No,
Nobody cared about
no.
health and safety back then.
Right.
Today, we'd go to jail if we did that. But what really wasn't good was the quality of the play, right? And, so basically I was skeptical when I first sat down with Vince, and he persuaded me, convinced me that he was serious about having a high quality of play. And it's really all about, the 80 million football fans in this country, half of whom self-identify as passionate diehard fans, probably like all of us sitting in this room. We have a void at the end of the football season because there's no more football to watch, right? So all of our research indicates that those people want to watch more football, and they'll tune in. If it's good, it's got to be good. And that's why Vince hired me. He said, listen, I want to hire people that know how to do this, that have done it before. I spent 10 years with NFL Europe, literally starting the league and the teams from scratch, with the National Football League. And so I think the big difference, right, will be nothing gimmicky, because that's important. Americans don't want gimmicks in their football. We love football. It's it's part of our fabric. So no gimmicks and better quality football. And I think with the broadcast partners that we're talking to, and we'll make some announcements in the next couple of weeks with the coaches we're talking to, I think people will say, oh my gosh, there's some really credible organizations and coaches that are getting involved with this league.
So when it comes to talent acquisition for the teams, is it more of we're looking at guys that were drafted late, undrafted, or we're looking at guys that maybe we're trying to hold on in the NFL at an older age, or just a combination of all of that?
I think the story I tell, and most fans don't really realize this, but those that are close to the game do. September 1 this past year, 32 NFL teams went from 90 man, beginning of training camp, down to 53 men, right? The roster for the season. It's almost 900 guys got cut. 900 guys. So we went back 5-6 years, looked at each one of those guys and said, how many of them cycle right back into the National Football League that same year due to injury or whatever? It's about 200, 250. So there's 650 guys out of work every year, right? A couple go to Canada. Some might, go to the Arena League or whatever, or play semi-pro ball. There's a bunch of talented players. I think the talent pool for us and other leagues is deeper, richer, broader than it's ever been. There are better college players today than I think, at any point in the history of the 150 years of college football. Nutritionists, strength coaches, it's become a 12-month a year game. It's unbelievable how good these players are. Not just the big school guys, but the small school guys as well. So I think we've got a good group of talent players that we can build around.
Oliver Luck here with us on the Fan Now. This is really interesting because you served in a big role with the NCAA as part of their regulatory controls, right?
Right.
So with the XFL, would you ever?
I wasn't very popular on campus.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I oversaw the disciplinary group there.
Well, how about getting popular with the players? How about the XFL lets them come early?
Sure. I mean, listen, I think most people understand the NFL's 3-year out of high school rule is baked in the NFL's collective bargaining agreement, right, between the National Football League Players Association and the NFL. We're not subject to that. We can take a kid who's been in college or out of high school for only 2 years, or only 1 year, or a high school kid.
How good does the product have to be for that to be a viable option for kids?
Well, I think the kid has to be, mentally and physically able to play professional football, right?
Yep.
So even if it's not at the NFL level, we're not going to be much lower than that. So,
Let's just say he were an ACC quarterback that's really, really good. What would his salary be? How would that work?
That's we can pay quarterbacks as much as $250,000 a year, right? For a 10-game season, that's not bad. Now, Trevor Lawrence, I think you were referring to him.
I would never name
you can mention it.
I don't know the rules. That's why I said an ACC quarterback.
So Trevor's a pretty talented kid, right? So fast forward 2 years, he's played 3 seasons. He's going to be the number 1 draft pick. He's looking at probably by then, a $30 million deal. But whoa, wait a minute. The NFL has to negotiate the collective bargaining agreement. Maybe there could be a lockout or a strike. You never know. It's happened before. I played in '82, and we had a strike, and I think there was one in '87 when I, left the Oilers, right? So who knows, right? It's very difficult to forecast what's going to happen in the future. Point being, though, that we are able to. There's nothing prohibiting us outside of labor laws in each state, we could take a kid straight out of high school or somebody who's played a year or two in college. And there are a lot of different situations in college. Guys who flunk out, aren't academically eligible. There are guys who transfer and don't want to sit out a year. There are guys, quite honestly, who need the money, and who need the $100,000 or $70,000 or whatever, for mom or dad, or pay off a note. I mean, there's lots of different situations. I mean, there's, I think, 10,000 guys playing college football every year. That's a big chunk of variety, if you will.
How would it work? Because I think, at least in my brain, this is one of the things that you're a Cowboy fan. You live in Dallas.
Right.
Every year at training camp, we watch all these players, and I'll just throw out a random name. Lance Lenore doesn't make the team, but he's a wide receiver that everybody liked. It's like, man, he's like right there. How would the XFL work with practice squads? Would those guys be allowed to go there, or would they have to pick one over the other?
Well, what we would do is say to a practice squad guy, this is our rationale, right? So, hey, Lance, you've been in the practice squad 2 or 3 years. People in Dallas love you, but you've never made the 53-man. And guess what? You're probably not going to make it. Now, you can go to training camp. You can sign a futures contract. You can go to training camp. You don't get paid until you actually make the team. So there's, between today and the start of NFL training camp and the end of NFL training camp is 6 months or something, right? Or 5 months. So all that time, he's not making any money. So we would say, come to our league. I know what can happen when you play 10 games in a spring league. I ran NFL Europe. I saw Kurt Warner. I saw John Kitna, right? One of your old quarterbacks. I saw Brad Johnson win a Super Bowl because he had been a 10-game starting quarterback for the London Monarchs, but had film that he could show NFL teams, right? All these guys resurrected their careers. Jake Delhomme played over in NFL Europe. So you don't get any better when you're scout team. You don't. I was a backup quarterback. I backed up Warren Moon. I got worse. Wasn't good to begin with. I wasn't good to begin with. I got worse because you have to play with the bullets flying, right? So that's the argument for these guys, that you're taking 10 games in the XFL, right, will actually help you lengthen or extend your NFL career. That's a tough argument.
Oliver Luck with us here on The Fan, Jeff.
Tough argument.
I know we're talking mostly XFL that's what you're with now, but I'm curious about the NFL Europe thing because people keep talking about it. They keep playing a game or 2 games or 4 games over in London. Do you think that's ever feasible for the NFL to have a team over there where a guy is going to have to say, you know what, I'm going to live in a different country. I'm going over the ocean for half my games. Is that feasible?
I mean, it's feasible, right? Is it smart? Is it strategic? I don't know. I mean, there's, Europe is different, labor laws, all that sort of stuff, time difference. I mean, do players want to live without their family, their wives, et cetera? I mean, I lived in Europe for 10 years. I love Europe. My mother's German. I speak the language. I ran NFL Europe, so I'm a Europhile, I guess is the right word. But it might be hard. I mean, think about all the guys that come in. 6 guys come in for to try out for a kicker after somebody blows an important field goal. How do you do that? Flying all these guys across the ocean. It would have been easier if the Concorde were still flying.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Supersonic jet.
Yeah, that was a 2.5-hour trip back and forth,
really?
right? But they mothballed that airplane. Or
did it break the sound barrier?
It did.
Yeah,
it did.
Could you hear it while you were on the plane?
You could hear it boom. Well, I don't know. I never flew it. But if you were on the ground, you could hear kind of it was this sort of funny boom. And they only flew out of Heathrow and out of Paris, right?
Huh.
So if you were in London or in Paris, you could, every now and then, boom, the Concorde's going.
Very
cool. You guys are next spring. XFL,
yeah, we're spring of 2020.
Okay.
Spring of
all
2020.
Right. Oliver Luck, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
We should do it again.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're looking forward to, to the
XFL
the Dallas franchise in the XFL.
Very cool.
If you guys are ever into bits and you want a former college walk-on who's had 9 knee surgeries but has radio reach to put in a game for 1 play, I'd like to run a fade.
He can broadcast while playing.
I'd like to run 1 fade for the Dallas team. Just hang it up there. I'm 6'3". I got a chance.
You got a chance. That's right. Give us a chance. That's all we can ask.
The great Oliver Luck. Oh, thank you. Okay, Mike, we have breaking NBA news a little bit.
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki's been added to the NBA All-Star team, along with the guy named Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
Now, does that make it Dirk's spot to do with as he wishes? If he's like, my body hurts, Luke is in.
Thank you.
No, I think that he'll probably get in for 2 to 4 minutes of the game, and Dwayne Wade will get in for about 5 minutes of the game. So Dirk is going to be an all-star for most likely his last year in the NBA.
What an awesome time to be a Mavs fan.
Yeah.
Holy cow. And I know, Mavs, tanking terrified you. 14 months later, your entire organization is transformed. So congratulations.
And it doesn't happen through the draft. Just remember, everybody who called us up, the PA guy for the Mavericks, Draft has nothing to do with actually getting better. It's all with free agents and trades.
Yep. I guess
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Not the draft.
Okay, so when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation here on the Mavericks. Why did the Knicks make what could be their worst trade in franchise history? We'll hit that with you next right here on The Fan.
The only way you can take the fan with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This CBS Sports Minute brought to you by the snoring experts at simplesleepservices.com. Get the right diagnosis, the right solution, the right treatment to help you wake up to better sleep.
This is John Feinstein with a CBS Sports Minute. In case you've been sharing the cave Roger Goodell spent 10 days hiding in and somehow don't know, the Super Bowl is this Sunday. There will be an endless pregame show. In fact, it may already have started. There will be lots of panting about the greatness of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and the refreshing youth of Jared Goff and Sean McVay. Enough already. We already know Belichick and Brady are old and Goff and McVay are young. Play the game already. Of course, when the game finally ends, about 10 o'clock Eastern if we're lucky, there will be the endless postmortems, endless reviews of the game, the commercials, the halftime show, and the pregame show, which may or may not be over by then. It should quiet down by midweek. But don't get too comfortable. The Combine, truly the greatest non-story in the history of sports and TV, will be 3 weeks away. The circus may pause briefly for breath, but it never really ends. I'm John Feinstein.
CBS Sports Radio.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to forhims.com/body. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/body. That's forhims.com/body for your first month for just $5. forhims.com/body.
See website for full details. Not all services through the HIMS platform are available in all 50 states.
DFW Airport makes parking for air travel easy as a click with new prepaid parking online. Just click, park, and save up to 50%. Plus, use your toll tag to make parking even easier. Visit dfwairport.com/park.
Now is the perfect time to treat yourself at GT Distributors. All month long, buy any 590M shotgun and get an extra 10-round magazine for free. It's an $84 value. If you're looking for a used firearm, GT Distributors has you covered there as well. An amazing customer service at GT. The guys behind the counter are amazing for helping you find what you need and telling you how to get the most of it once you leave. How about you show your pride with a special edition thin blue line 6-hour P320? It's a 9mm carry size pistol, including a serialized trigger group. The slide's adorned with the imagery of a thin blue line flag, representing the officer and the courage they find in the face of adversity. Its black background also serves as a constant reminder of their fallen officers. Take home your special edition thin blue line 6-hour P320 for just $619 at GT Distributors. GT Distributors is located at 12610 Perimeter Drive in Dallas. It's your one-stop shop for all your sporting, shooting, and public safety needs. America's public safety specialist, GT Distributors, online anytime at gtdist.com.
Nothing says I love you like a diamond. For centuries and across cultures, it's remained the universal symbol of love, romance, and commitment. And at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's, we're making it easier than ever to celebrate your love with diamond jewelry she'll cherish for a lifetime. Join us February 4th through the 14th for our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down on any purchase. Choose from a special expanded selection of the most romantic gifts, rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and bands. Get the guaranteed best price and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And yes, all engagement rings are included. So come on, make it an unforgettable day for her with a special gift that symbolizes your love and commitment like nothing else. It's Diamonds Direct Spectacular Valentine's Celebration with in-store appearances from top jewelry designers and expanded selection including gifts as low as $200 and 5 years 0 interest financing on approved credit. February 4th to the 14th only, and only at Diamonds Direct.
Preston Road and Cherry Lane. Hey, you with the rhinestone dog collar. Between us dogs, I just convinced my human to upgrade to a new home with a 1,200 square foot bathroom. I think she called it a yard. With Wells Fargo's 3% down payment on a fixed rate loan, my human realized a new home was within reach. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/woof.
Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. Down payments as low as 3% on a fixed-rate loan require mortgage insurance. Ask a home mortgage consultant about loan requirements. Wells Fargo Home Mortgage is a division of Wells Fargo Bank N.A., Equal Housing Lender. NMLSR ID 399801.
Yo, Ben and Skin here, and the big game is right around the corner. And Barbecues Galore has you covered with all your party essentials. Whether you need last-minute supplies like charcoal, rubs, sauces, accessories, yes, they've got you covered. Need a grill? They have grills starting at just $199. They have patio furniture, bar stools, fire pits, and they can finance those items. 24-month interest-free financing. Barbecues Galore has everything you need to get your big game party on like a champ. Stop by and let the experts set you up. Barbecues Galore, not just a barbecue aisle, it's a barbecue stove.
Deals starting at $6 are delicious. Subway, make it what you want.
This is the exclusive home of Dallas Cowboys football. KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas, Fort Worth. Let's go, Cowboys.
A radio.com station. Live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. You're rolling with DFW's #1 midday show, the G-Bag Nation, on 105.3 The Fan.
Welcome to the nation.
It's hour 3 of the G-Bag Nation. We're live Radio Row here in Atlanta, brought to you by Twin Peaks, brought to you by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of Super Bowl 53. We were all on the internet last night looking for the why. Why the heck would the Knicks trade Kristaps Porzingis? I mean, hey, DeAndre Jordan's nice. A couple of future draft picks are nice. Those draft picks are going to be late first rounders by the time this thing comes together.
Yeah, we hope so, right?
Yeah.
Or mid.
Yeah.
Or mid.
No, if this team stays healthy, it'll be in the mid-20s at worst. Yeah. By the time, what's the next pick? The
2021 and 2023.
Yeah. I mean, I would be shocked, wouldn't you? That's a good topic. If you guys are kind of looking at me like you disagree.
Oh, I wouldn't be stunned if they ended up being somewhere around 15. Who knows what the team looks like in 2, 3, 4 years? We know 2 of the guys that'll be here, but you think they're a lock to be a top 3 or 4 team in the West?
By then, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Next year, I think
you'd be right to not care about those picks in any way, shape, or form. They don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Knicks fans are taking that as any kind of solace today.
No. And I think you are top 10 protected in 2021.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like the only way it goes bad, Porzingis' knee doesn't get right, or, he's just a guy that's injured all the time. Luka's like, hey, guys, we're not good. I want to go somewhere where it's better.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there going, oh, no, we have to trade Luka. Porzingis didn't work out. But that's the only way that you would regret this trade. I'm with you. I think that the Mavericks will be picking somewhere from 20 to 30, hopefully 30, because then you're the champs. But I think by that time you will be a good playoff team. The thing is, I never see the West being bad the rest of my lifetime. It's been since Michael Jordan, since the East was actually the better conference.
Yeah.
So it will be always tougher in the West to get into the top 4 seed. But, yeah, I believe that you now have the base, the core of a championship team in Dallas. It's just going to take a little bit of time for it to grow.
Yeah, and I think your players are going to be better than so many of those teams' players in the West. Best guy. You could go to Utah. You could go to Denver. You could go to Portland and maybe say, well, they got Lillard. Oh, okay, well, maybe Lillard is as good as what Doncic is going to be in 2 years. But Porzingis is also a top 10 guy. You look at the cap space. You look at this team's history of being really, really resourceful in free agency and trades. And I just think they're going to do a great job surrounding them with really quality starters and depth to go around your 2 stars in a very quick time.
I think so, too.
I just think for the Knicks, you haven't lost the trade yet, obviously, right? They know that in the immediate aftermath, everybody's going to see it and say, okay, the Mavericks got a better player, and those picks probably aren't all that valuable, and that's fine because their goal is different. If they, this offseason, end up as a team that has Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and a top 3 pick, then they say, hey, the Mavericks might have had a big win, and it's a win-win. Because
that's the best theory I saw was that they're clearing it for free agency. Like, Porzingis doesn't want to be here. This is the best move we can make. And the Mavs just happen to be there with the best package at the time.
They're just taking a really, really, really big risk on the idea that New York is such a destination that 2 superstars are going to go, yep, Let's go do it.
If you think that the Mavs gave up too much, and I don't know, we're not in Dallas, and I haven't seen anybody upset about this really on Twitter from a Dallas perspective, is there was a tweet earlier in the day before we even knew the Mavericks were in on it, and I was sitting there with Sean Sharif. There were 5 teams. It was from Woj. It was earlier in the day, and the Mavericks weren't even included in it. And I can't remember all the teams, but the only smoke there was Woj put out a tweet yesterday saying teams in on Porzingis. 5 teams, not including the Mavs. He named the teams too. And so you had to beat 5 other teams. It wasn't like other teams didn't want him. Toronto wanted him. Yeah. San Antonio wanted him. The Clippers wanted him. Those are off the top of my head. Teams that are playoff contenders, or in Toronto's case, a championship contender, wanting Porzingis for this season coming up.
Yeah, and I guess for the people that were insisting that Dennis Smith Jr. has great value, I mean, they were kind of proven right. Because apparently Dennis Smith Jr. is the crown jewel of that trade from the Knicks' perspective, right?
Right now.
That's the best asset that they got.
Yeah.
And that got you Porzingis when 4 or 5 other teams were bidding hard on him.
Yeah. And maybe the Mavericks were the only team willing to take on Hardaway and Courtney Lee, because they had to get rid of both of them for this to work out in the dream scenario that 2 max guys go there.
Isn't it possible, as you guys always say, in this agent-controlled league, that the Knicks already know that maybe Kyrie and one other player is going to come? Would you make the trade without knowing?
Or think? Well, I think
they make the trade without knowing.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that the Knicks
are idiots.
Well, yeah, this sign
Mavericks kept doing stupid things, not knowing.
This trade was a sign of how broken it's been for a long time, because they're giving away their best player in a decade, maybe 2 decades. They're giving him away in a salary dump, and the prime guy that they're getting back is a guy that they picked Frank Ntilikina over because they thought him and Porzingis would be it. Then they had to give away Porzingis to bring in a guy that they thought was worse to replace the guy that they picked over that guy. Like it's a train wreck for New York for sure. So that could end up really, really good if the draw of New York is what they're hoping it is.
And hey, I've crushed the Mavs big time because they subjected us to 5 unnecessary years of rebuilding in the name of honoring Dirk by winning 45 games.
And now Dirk gets honored.
Yeah, and now finally because you tanked. Or yes, Dirk's going to be honored in a different way. But here, they rehabilitated Dennis Smith Jr.'s value from a guy who went AWOL. They preserved his value, got him back on the court. In New York, here is their best player in 2 decades, and I agree with that. And there's like static between him and different people in the organization, and they just let it fester. They never picked up the phone. They never had the meeting, so I think that's one of the reasons you can feel great about how the Mavs are executing now, that they're actually letting Donnie Nelson do his job.
The last sentence you said is the key, is that Mark Cuban is out as running this because he ran it into a freaking ditch, man. And I do think he finally realized, because I do think he pulled off the Jason Kidd trade. I remember that. He was the one who stepped in when the whole thing fell through, if you remember. And I think it was Devin George, I think, was the guy who's like, I'm not going. Too bad. And they're like, well, trade's off, even though it was on. And Mark Cuban at the All-Star break met with Jason Kidd and agents and the New Jersey Nets, and he figured out a way to get it done. I think that gave Mark a lot of confidence, especially after winning a championship with Kidd being a major part of it. I can do this on my own. Donnie, I'll take your input. I'll do it all on my own, guys. And he ran the thing really down a bad path. And then he realized, okay, we should have the Greek Freak in Dallas. I screwed that up. We should be winning already 50 to 60 games a year, but I screwed that up. I screwed up other things. Donnie, here's the car. Here, you can now drive this thing again, and I'm going to watch and give my opinions, but I'm going to watch. Then you get Dennis Smith Jr., who looked like to be a really nice prospect. And then you get Luka. You trade up for him. That's Donnie Nelson doing that. And now you get Donnie Nelson doing a trade with the New York Knicks to bring in another superstar player. And like I've said, it's very rare in the NBA to trade for a superstar player and you lose the trade overall over time.
Yeah.
You can give them 10 draft picks.
I know.
It never works for the other team.
Yeah, it's such a tremendous feeling when you get to be that team that gets the superstar.
Yeah.
For the team that loses the superstar, let's go to some audio for that, because that can be very, very painful. Shortly after the trade was announced last night, we're scrolling through Twitter, and Skins buddy Michael Rappaport had a video from his couch after waking up from a nap that quickly went viral.
What the man. I just woke up from the very rare daytime nap that I was taking in rainy California, and you traded away Porzingis. The Knicks traded away Kristaps Porzingis for Dennis Smith Jr. We could have drafted Dennis Smith Jr., but we chose to draft Frankie Cigarettes. Dennis Smith Jr. and DeAndre Jordan for Porzingis. I was taking a nap. No lip having, bad back, bad elbow, bad hip, bad knee, goofy motherfucker. You don't like the culture. You don't like the attitude. You don't think it's a winning environment. Maybe you haven't perfected the language yet. It's called tanking, you dumb. It's because you tall, doofy sucker. You take your ass to Dallas and you see if you can fit on a horse, you tall, lanky, no lip having mother. Get the out of this city.
Wow, there's a lot there. That's G-Bag of the day if we get to have it today. I can't imagine not voting for that.
Out of all of that, I think my favorite was, I was taking a nap. like you're supposed to call me up and let me know what's happening here.
I mean, how do you even react to that if you're a fan of that team? Like, I guess you kind of disappointed with the player, but if your organization is so dysfunctional, I mean, your CEO fights with former greats. He kicks them out of your arena. How could you expect Porzingis to really enjoy being in that environment and want to stay?
Yeah, and they keep changing general managers and head coaches, and then they have no direction where they're going. And I get it. They want to get Kyrie and Kevin Durant. And Dolan's been through all this.
And a top pick. They didn't want to tank.
Yeah, they didn't get LeBron. They didn't get Chris Bosh when they had a chance to team up. They ended up going to Miami because there was a guy there named Dwayne Wade. There's nobody there to team up for. And they had to get rid of Hardaway and Courtney Lee to do this. But in the article I was reading, I believe it was in The Athletic, but it's everywhere, is Kevin Durant's the one that gave Porzingis the nickname the Unicorn.
Really?
Because he saw him and he was like, that dude's a unicorn. You don't see 7'3" guys able to do this. So he really likes Porzingis. If you had Porzingis there and able to get rid of Hardaway and Lee, I have no clue how they're going to do that.
Figure out how to dump those
They're
salaries.
saying Durant would have maybe been more likely to go to New York. We'll see how it all ends up. Or Kyrie Irving going, hey, we can go there and team up with Porzingis and have a big three. Now you have to talk to your free agent buddy and say, you and me, let's go there. We eat up all the cap space. There's no human beings that can play with us on this team.
DSJ, baby.
You think DSJ, if he was unhappy with Luka, he'd be really happy with playing with Durant and Kevin with Kyrie Irving. He never touched the basketball.
Well, I don't think he was unhappy with Luka. I think he was unhappy with Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, because Carlisle wouldn't let him have the ball and do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there's both to it. I get it.
That. I feel like you're guessing at that.
No, I'm not guessing at that. Talk to people around. Talk to Skin off the air about it.
Okay, that Dennis Smith doesn't like playing with Luka.
He doesn't like off the ball stuff. He's trying his best, but he wants the ball in his hands. He's like, I can't get money. I can't make $30 million or $20 million a year if I'm standing on a wing because I can't catch and shoot. I literally will shoot air balls or shoot 20% in my three-point shooting if I can't have the ball and dance with it.
See, if the Knicks think that, then they're stupider than stupid. They're even dumber than we think, because even in their dream scenario is to have just acquired a guy in this trade to not fit.
Well, he might be able to fit what they do.
Yeah, right now he gets the ball. He gets the ball 100% of the time. There's literally no human being that they can give the ball to and say, "Can you set something up on their team?" He gets 30
but the
games.
goal of the trade wasn't to get Dennis Smith Jr. to come run the team.
Right.
It was to add whatever you add and then add superstars.
Well, yeah, here's their goal. Dennis Smith
Trade
Jr.
him again
averages
later?
20 points and 8 assists for the last 30 games of the year in New York. Get
trade him.
Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and then you trade Dennis Smith Jr. for something.
Or, those are kind of ISO players. KD does not want to play Golden State Warriors pass. He wants to ISO.
True.
If you have an ISO team, you can put them all together and you say, okay, you guys take turns. Okay. Watch Houston film. This is what the Rockets did with D'Antoni last year. This is our offense. You need to take turns. Who's tired? James Harden is tired. Give it to Chris Paul. And I think there are some teams that can work like that. It's not going to spell championship unless you have the best guys in the world that do it. But in New York, they love point guards that attack. So Dennis Smith Jr. is going to help them sell a lot of tickets and generate some excitement with his dunks and stuff. Okay, what else do
You
we
think
have
Dennis
going on?
Smith Jr. is going to come off the bench next year for New York if this all works out, and he's going to be happy with that?
Well, and that will be the time in his career where maybe the light bulb starts coming on. Like, oh man, now here's 2 teams where it's happened in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't think the Knicks are going to get great players.
No, neither do
I.
I. Nobody's ever. Amari went there, and that's what Charles Barkley said. I watched all of TNT last night, and Barkley's like, "You'll mess up your franchise for another 10 years if you pick the wrong guys in this scenario, because when they don't come, because that's where they got Amari Stoudemire, who didn't come to New York. LeBron didn't come, and they're sitting there with $40 million. They're like, Amari, you want to come?" And then it screwed up their franchise for a long time because you have all this money. You promised your fan base, we're going to go get stars. And then you get a guy who's kind of broke and needs to work off of Steve Nash to be super successful.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, no.
Yeah, I think the Knicks front office got offended that the kid wasn't there, maybe a little worried, and they decided to make a horrible decision, one that they're going to regret for a long, long time, and we're going to be laughing about for a long, long time. I mean, you talk about a great train robbery in the Herschel Walker trade. This is its NBA equivalent when it comes to the Metroplex.
I hope so. Can you imagine if he goes off and just is 25-10 with 2 blocks in his career for us?
That's what it appears is going to happen, as long as health is a factor. Text the word obey, though, to 72881. Obey, that's OBEY, to 72881. It's winning time at 16 past the hour every hour right here on DFW Sports Station. And we're coming back for a conversation about some Cowboy topics. Dak was asked, why'd you unfollow Zeke? Other Cowboy topics of the day next right here on 105.3 The Fan.
Were those things about winning? Is that what they were about? They were about victories?
Absolutely.
Big W's?
Uh-huh. Dubs. Winning time. Got it in there for you. Text it to 72881. The word obey.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
OBEY.
He actually did it, and I'm sitting here going, oh,
Yeah,
what about winning
buddy.
time?
Thanks for having my back, bro.
Shout out to Roy, my my mentor.
Oh, okay. Let's talk Mark Rubin at 1-800-Lawyers. What was in those Cal Turley CBDs?
Boy,
though?
I tell you
got
what,
some
time to back off, isn't it? That's false advertising.
We'll be back with some Cowboy conversation after I give you a minute on Mark Rubin, our good buddy Mark Rubin, 1-800-Lawyers. He is a Tolo. He's been with us for a long, long time here, 10 years running. And if credit card companies are blowing up your phone, if you got old IRS debt, medical debt, maybe it's repossession, foreclosure, it's a horrible place to be and you can't enjoy life. Call the official lawyers of the Tolo. Mark Rubin, he's available for you right now at the lunch hour. And if you give him a call right now, by the time you get home this afternoon, you're going to be feeling a lot better about your situation, where you are, where you're going, because Mark Rubin has solutions for all of it. He's been around for over 2 decades in DFW. He has helped thousands of Tolos, gbag nationals, and he's ready to help you as well stop the financial stress from interrupting the joy of life. You got a big game coming up on Sunday. The weather's about to get nice. You got the barbecue season on the horizon. I mean, hey, it's Friday. But if you can't enjoy any of that stuff, it's probably financial stress. Mark Rubin's available for you. 1-800-Lawyers, DallasTexasLegal.com.
The one place to grab the fan wherever you go. Radio.com. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Don't live with pain? Try chiropractic. The Joint Chiropractic. Affordable pricing? Walk-ins welcome. No insurance needed. Visit the doctors at one of our 26 Dallas clinics or visit thejoint.com. The Joint Chiropractic. Relief. Recovery. Wellness.
Extraordinary deals. 2 big days to save back to back. This Friday and Saturday, shop 2 back-to-back 11-hour sales. Take time during the special savings event to shop our huge selection with extraordinary deals. Aisles of living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, reclining furniture, children's furniture, home entertainment, and office. Refrigerators, washers and dryers, ranges, microwaves, small appliances, vacuums, hundreds of appliances on display in dream kitchens, and more. Shop rooms of carpet, hardwood, tile, even granite countertops. Explore thousands of electronics from big screen TVs to tablets, home audio, headphones, game consoles, and more. Nebraska Furniture Mart has the basics to the best on sale back to back for 2 big days of savings. And use your Mart card for 24-month financing on qualifying purchases store-wide. Friday 11 hours, Saturday 11 hours. Extraordinary savings back to back at Nebraska Furniture Mart. Minimum monthly payments required for financing. 18% APR. See NFM.com for details.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to forhims.com/order. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/order. That's forhims.com/order for your first month for just $5. forhims.com/order.
What if everyone watching the big game worked together to tackle hunger by joining Super Bowl of Caring? Change the game for Texans in need at tacklehunger.org.
You get the most for your lease with an Autoflex lease, yeah.
Research has shown that people will drive up to 50 miles to get their car from a dealer that has great online customer ratings. But you won't have to go any further than your phone to reach one of the highest rated dealers in the country, Autoflex Leasing. The website Compare Top 10 has ranked Autoflex Leasing as the top rated leasing company in America for 5 years running. But you don't have to take their word for it. You can also go to dealerrater.com and see what real customers say about their Autoflex experience. Easy, quick, and painless. Everything leasing a car should be, with none of the traditional hassles. Returning customers say that Autoflex will be there for you when you need them, not just when they're selling you a car. What are you waiting for? Call Autoflex right now at either 817 or 972-234-1234 or reach them at autoflex.com. Get any make, any model, and Autoflex quality service.
Okay, we are back. Gbag Nation live in Atlanta on Radio Row, the site of Super Bowl 53. You can check us out on the fan cam. It's brought to you by the Low T Center. And we want to thank all our guests for sitting down in our Diamonds Direct hot seat. Had a lot of them yesterday and quite a few this morning, including the playmaker, Michael Irvin. He was pumped to talk about the Cowboys and Super Bowl and all that. Segment here, though, is we're going to have a little bit of audio. Dak was asked, why did you unfollow Zeke? I loved his answer. Segment's brought to you by the Frankels at 1-800-LAWYERS. If you've been hurt in an accident and it's not your fault, call the office of Frankel & Frankel at 1-800-LAWYERS, the official lawyers of the Tolo. Principal office, Dallas, Texas. Yeah, we got Jeffrey time coming up here at 12:40. Brian Broaddus is going to join us at 1 o'clock. But here was Dak on with Sean and RJ yesterday morning as we watched on getting ready for our show. And he was asked about that IG story from a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so
yeah, what happened?
No, I mean, I think I just saw the same way as y'all did. So I was just on social media and I see some posts, why did Zeke unfollow Dak or something? And then I click that, makes you know it's like this whole threads of like people coming up with some fake or whatever reasoning. I don't know. Maybe hit the wrong button, but me and Zeke are great. We just spent the whole Pro Bowl and weekend together. We're good.
So was he just on your feed stalking your page? Is that what he was doing?
He probably and just accidentally slipped to hit the unfollow button. Or who knows? Maybe I didn't text him back and he unfollowed me. I don't know. I don't know.
That right there, correct me if I'm wrong, is how a grown man does social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. He my friend. He unfollowed me. Maybe he followed me. I don't know. Did he follow me before? Maybe he never followed me. I don't care. You know, we're good. We're friends. So if somebody unfollows you, it's not a significant change in your life. I remember when Chicago.
Sometimes it can be. Sometimes it can be quite traumatic. You lose a follower.
Well, and young people can be pretty dramatic about this kind of stuff. But I think that story right there is just another example of the unmatched leadership by one Dakota Prescott.
Well, you know what?
Maturity.
I think it's not a big deal. I'm hoping it's not a big deal, because if it is a big deal when you unfollow someone on Instagram, and if it can't happen on accident, my relationship is in deep doo-doo.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Because now I think we're up to about 8 days ago. I opened the Instagram, which I don't open that often, but Time for Jeffrey is my Instagram if you're out there. And it said, Amanda followed you. That was 8 days ago.
Okay.
I screenshotted that bad boy. And I did not do what Dak did. It was like, oh, I don't know, whatever. We're friends, though.
Oh, you had an investigation.
I sent a text, and I said, son of a biscuit, what is this? Like, my own lady unfollowed me on the gram.
It's yours.
And she was like, I have no idea. So I just hit follow because it said I didn't follow you. And I was just like, no, unacceptable. This is BS. You bailed on me when I needed you most. When do you need him most? On the internet.
Yeah.
She left. support was gone, and she came back though.
I mean, she could have been liking your photos and helping the algorithm with all of her followers and her popularity, and she was just like, "No, I'm good."
Well, she did. She went through and liked every single photo of the last 6 months. I think that was as a makeup, but maybe I made her mad. I don't know.
That's quite a power couple move right there.
Yeah.
You guys are great teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as far as the big Cowboy stories that developed yesterday, and the Jason Garrett story not being the OC, I think for all Cowboy fans everywhere, if you were super frustrated the entire second half of the season that he was not going to get fired, now I think you're kind of coming back into this thing like, holy cow, we got to have all that success and it didn't save Garrett. That's official now.
I love it. Now, I think this is the kind of thing that Mike would love, because now you have to see it play out, and it has to turn out that Jerry's being honest, because in his interview right here on 105.3 The Fan, he was talking about, I want Kellen Moore and who else was he talking about? Like Colombo and Nussmeier. He's like, I want those guys to yell. I want them to lay on the tracks. I want their input. I want their plays. I want them doing this. That's what I want. And so he's saying everything right. And
he's saying Garrett's meaningless.
And a coach who, even at 3-5, we're like, well, could he ever get fired? Jerry loves him. Then goes to the playoffs, wins a playoff game. And in that same offseason, Jerry Jones is like, no, he's not getting an extension. Whew. Dude, that means if it had gone any worse, he was going to fire the dude.
I think Jerry has a lot of friends around the NFL. Obviously, we talked to one yesterday in Mike Holmgren, which was really interesting that Jerry offered him the head coaching job 2 times in his life, and he's turned it down both times.
Yeah, that was interesting.
We kind of let that go by. But, I mean, Holmgren could have been but he decided, no, we're not going to work together well. Yeah. So I'll just be your friend and give you advice on things. You can take it or leave it. Is that he's probably talked to a lot of people. Steven and Jerry, we've interviewed a lot of people here on Radio Row. Not one human being that's in the NFL, around the NFL, an advisor in the NFL, has said the Cowboys are doing it right offensively.
Yeah.
Every single human, even Michael Irvin today, said they got to figure out a better way, because if you just look at a lot of the analytics of this, the Cowboys are one of the worst teams in the NFL analytically on the offensive side. Well, if Jerry's getting all this information over the last, let's say, 6 to 10 weeks of, Jerry, your offense is doing some things that are just stupid.
Yeah.
And it's kind of been that way for a while. No matter where you finish in overall scoring or whatever, that's one thing that you can look at. But we can look at a lot of things here and saying a lot of other teams are putting themselves in a better position to succeed on each down where you're not. And I think it's finally soaking into the Jones family that we love Jason Garrett. We want him to be the head coach forever. But we've stuck with your system for 11 years. And everybody's telling us that it's wrong. We can't find a human being telling us it's right.
The best Tony could do was no comment.
Yeah.
That one had to hurt. But even before then, I mean, going back to what you said 6 to 10 weeks ago, this thing could have and should have been building. And I just hope it's real this time. Because when we would ask Jerry about this stuff during the regular season, I mean, he was adamant. Jason Garrett's a genius. He's at the top of his game. Did that change? Did he decide maybe he's not a genius? Did they have some sort of a profound? And I think so, and I think that's why, Jason Garrett's been so mad. Now, how does Jerry Jones get to ignoring it for 10 years? I wonder, and it's probably because, Jason was a genius. But 12 years ago, T.O. was saying this,
Yeah.
So did he become so like?
This was the first time that public perception was near unanimous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we spent the entire year even going into the year, and I don't think we're the only ones. And I think the vast majority of the fan base was saying the same thing. And Jerry hears that.
Yeah.
Like if he's comfortable and his coach is the guy he wants it to be, and
so what's the
public
value
split, then I think he can do what he wants. But when it reaches the point where literally everyone that talks about the Cowboys is like, dude, your coaching is not good enough.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And yet you're making the playoffs. You're winning the division 2 out of 3 years.
Yeah.
So you're having some success with a lot of things that aren't successful in this league. What if you started doing successful things in the league and you have a team that's already successful?
Well, that's what if it's the ultimate Jason Garrett victory, where this year they open this thing up and they're like, yeah, well, Garrett's like, go ahead, show them. Show them what happens when we don't play it my way with keep it close, don't turn it over. And the Cowboys go 6-10, airing it out with Dak.
Yeah.
And Linehan's sitting somewhere on his couch like, I told you not to do that with that guy. And Garrett's sitting there like, so what? You going to fire me now because you took my thing away and it failed.
Man, that's so awesome because we can talk about the scheme and what we want to see, but he has to be able to go out and execute it. And I think Dak's going to be able to execute it. I don't think you have to add risk in order to be significantly more efficient.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
No, you can just do really all you need to do. I think the biggest step would be 1, pre-snap motion. Just do it every play. Thanks. And 2 would be just empower your quarterback. Dude, I trust you. When we line up and it looks like, hell no, we shouldn't run the ball here, don't.
All right. So that's another point I wanted to bring up because to what Mike said, that we've had a lot of coaches kill him. The one thing they would have defended, and I think Weiss and Holmgren did it, is saying you can run against run fronts. It just needs to be with the motion. Or do you think that offensive line is not good enough? The offensive line is too compromised to do it at this point.
Now, they could even show up next year and do the exact same things and be a better team because Travis Frederick's there.
Yeah.
And left guard, I don't know who it is, but whichever one's better out of Looney and Connor Williams. And you could upgrade just on that alone. But it is weird to be a broadcaster that has head coaches sit down and you say he's wrong. Like Charlie Weiss, Mike Holmgren, they're wrong. And the more successful teams aren't thinking that way anymore. They're using every number available to them. Like, yes, you can block a front like that. So I'm not saying you never run into that front because otherwise teams can make you predictable the other way. If we show them this, we know they'll check to this, and then we can do this. Like, you can do it when you believe in your players and you're running away from one of the guys, so he's really not a factor in the play. You can do it. You can't make a living off of it. It's not smart.
They got a first down on 4th down against the LA Rams.
You can do it.
They pitched the ball out to Zeke and ran to the outside. As 11 guys were in the box, we're going to see if you can beat everybody to the outside with just a hair of misdirection with a few of the blockers. We're not pulling everybody to that side to let you know we're pitching it that way and we're bringing all our blockers that way. We're going to just do a hair of misdirection with a little bit of blocking to the outside. And Zeke, we trust that you're going to get to the corner, turn it, and get the yard that we need to keep this drive alive. But here's the deal. I go to NBA. When Dwight Powell makes a three-pointer, it doesn't change the defense. They're like, we don't care. He can't really shoot a three-pointer. We dare you to do it again. When the Cowboys did that, the LA Rams, led by Wade Phillips' defense, said, hey, guys, we really need to watch the outside on these 3rd and shorts or 4th and shorts. They said, that's the one time they're going to do it all game. They're not really going to misdirection us or anything. We know where they're going to go. It's going to be right over the guards.
You're right.
So they decided not to go to a play that was successful again. And then we go back to their what they consider bread and butter. And Wade Phillips wasn't buying that we're actually going to send some guys to the outside because you might run to the outside on these situations.
And I felt the times they made that, it was Zeke making an exceptional second effort or read that went away from the hole you were supposed to be in because that thing was shut.
I do believe he's the best running back in the NFL. What that means in today's NFL, I totally get where Jeff's coming from. To me, you have the best running back in the NFL. Can you utilize him the best? Not just, hey, he had the most yards in the NFL. Well, I mean, we looked at the efficiency numbers. They're not close to the most efficient running team in the NFL. What if you get both?
Yeah.
The best running back and one of the most efficient running games in the NFL.
So I'm just glad we're here at this moment because I think we're not too far away from being at a time where they could have possibly ruined the greatest drafting run in the modern history of the Cowboys.
Well, and this is, I think it's huge for Jerry Jones and the perception of what's important to him. That you could have a playoff season, a division championship, a playoff win, and the owner telling the head coach, don't get comfortable because that wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
You're not good enough. I'm not paying you. You're not safe.
No.
None of that.
No. Because he's got to be looking at it like, holy crap, dude, what you just won the division 3 out of 5 years. Great job. Oh, you won another playoff game. Great job. Well, let's see here. What happened? Tyrant's getting older. Zach Martin is now dealing with injuries. You're now in the real world of having big uglies that are in their late 20s instead of their early 20s. And that's a completely different world. Now it's more like, hey, if we did open up a championship window by having Tony and Dak and DeMarco and Zeke and this really efficient running game, it's starting to get closed. And now we're going to have to draft our balls off over a 2-year period if we want to keep the talent base like this. And while we're spending a bunch of money. So if I'm Jerry, I'm like, man, I really wanted it to work with Jason. This would have been so great. But now there's so much evidence that maybe he's limited that now you're thinking, the best case scenario for me long-term with Jason is just to completely strip all responsibilities. You're going to be a middleman between me and what I want the team to do.
And I want to give Jason Garrett credit here. I think he's one of the best in the NFL in getting his team to play the hardest no matter what. And that is a very strong quality from a head coach. We just have to limit him to that. We've seen your limits, Jason. You've been in the league now for a long time, mostly with the Cowboys, a little bit with the Dolphins. We know what you're great at, and we know what you're limited at. We have to take away what you are limited at, and we have to really produce what you're strong at. And he does have strengths to be a head coach. And so I think Jerry and family are coming around to, here are his strengths. Here are his weaknesses. Let's eliminate his decision-making and his weaknesses.
All right. It is the gbag Nation here on the Fan. Ben and Skin have been here all day long. They're over there talking with Neil Smith, having a good old time. You can see the whole scene at 1053thefan.com. But, yeah, I mean, Jason's good at that.
Yeah.
He's good at keeping the waters calm.
He's totally different from Ron Washington, but they're totally similar in what they're good at.
All right, Jeffrey time's coming up next. Where are we going with it?
My guy, Kyler, not exactly acing Radio Row. It's next.
All right, well, let's talk about Valentine's Day. It's February now, so we're getting closer. Simple Sleep Services has the perfect gift. A dozen roses, always a great gift, and a lifetime of better sleep for you both. That's the better gift. Look, if you snore, one of two things are happening. You're either keeping her up or she's kicking you to the couch. Neither makes sense for a healthy relationship. It's killing the mood. And if you have sleep apnea, it could be killing more than that, because obstructive sleep apnea is deadly. It can cause things like heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and more. Call Simple Sleep Services today at 469-685-1700 and get your free benefits check and diagnosis by a doctor who will prescribe the right custom fit mouthpiece based on the type of snoring that you are doing. Complete your appointment by February 14th, and you will get a dozen roses sent straight to your Valentine. 2 birds, 1 stone. Everyone's happy and sleeping better together. It's covered by medical insurance, a proven solution that simply works for me and 4 other guys up at the station. Bookings are filling up fast. So visit simplesleepservices.com or call 469-685-1700. Get the right diagnosis, the right solution, the right treatment to help you wake up to better sleep with Simple Sleep Services.
Coming up today on the Ben and Skin Show, it's our final day in Atlanta for Super Bowl 53, and we'll have the Backstreet Boys and Greg Jamings. Plus Kevin Harlan. Oh, it's going to rock. Roll home with your homeboys from Richardson, Ben and Skin, 3 to 7 on 105.3 The Fan.
Christy Cannon here, reminding you to tune in each weekday morning with Mike Fisher for the Cannon Real Estate Update. Call us, text us, look us up, 469-951-9588, or go to cannonteamhomes.com.
Where are you going with my sleeping bag?
I'm going to sleep under the stars tonight.
Man, it's winter, and we live in Chicago.
But well, it's a beautiful night.
Oh, gosh, this isn't going to end well. Kind of like when you thought we should get cable internet.
The pioneers slept outside year-round, so.
Yeah, and most pioneers didn't live over 40.
Oh, you don't know that.
I do. You want to know how?
No. Sort of.
I just looked it up on our AT&T internet.
Don't get mixed up with cable internet. Get AT&T internet rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable. Switch and get up to 100 megabits per second for $40 a month. Limited availability. May not be available in your area. Check eligibility at att.com/internet. AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. New approved customers only. Includes internet plans 10 to 100 megabits. Early termination fee and other charges and restrictions apply. Speeds not guaranteed and may vary. Claim based on 2018 ACSI survey of customers rating their own internet provider's performance.
Hey there, this is Dak Prescott.
Prescott keeps, pylon, touchdown!
Have you heard? There's a new way for you to save money on groceries. Now you can choose to redeem your rewards at Albertsons and Tom Thumb for fuel or cash discounts on groceries.
Wow!
Sign up for Just For You and save up to $300 weekly in addition to earning rewards.
Dak back to throw, looking and standing. He's got a man wide open, left side of the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Albertsons and Tom Thumb, official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys.
Looking for ways to save with your Medicare plan? Walgreens is a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. So bring your prescriptions to a Walgreens pharmacy today to start saving. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Walgreens participates as a preferred network pharmacy with United Healthcare, Cigna HealthSpring, and Express Scripts Medicare. For a complete list of available plans, please contact 1-800-MEDICARE. TTY users should call 1-877-486-2048. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or consult www.medicare.gov. Other pharmacies are available in our network.
We want pretzel crust.
We want Pretzel Crust fans, rejoice because it's back by popular demand. Little Caesars Large Soft Pretzel Crust Pizza featuring a creamy cheddar cheese sauce, pepperoni, and a 4-cheese blend surrounded by a delicious salted soft pretzel crust for just $6. Hot and ready every day between 4 and 8 and only $6 from the home of Pretzel Crust Pizza, Little Caesars.
Pizza at participating locations plus tax.
Register at 1053thefan.com for your chance to win tickets to the Dallas Winter Boat Expo at Dallas Market Hall. The show will be in town February 1st through 3rd and February 7th through 10th. Tickets, details, and more info at dallasboatexpo.com.
Ben and Skin here for the WinStar World Casino and Resort. And if you haven't seen the lineup of amazing shows coming out to WinStar's Global Event Center, you need to head to winstar.com right now and check out the event calendar. Next up on February the 22nd, Mr. Worldwide himself, Pitbull. And then the following night, catch R&B legend Charlie Wilson on February 23rd. And let's do it all night long on March 1st with the one and only Lionel Richie. Tickets for all shows are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. And for a full event calendar, head over to winstar.com. Do it now.
Valentine's Day is coming up, and Simple Sleep Services has the perfect gift. A dozen roses and a lifetime of better sleep for you both. Look, if you snore, one or two things are happening. You're either keeping her up or she's kicking you to the couch. Call Simple Sleep Services today for a free benefits check and a diagnosis by a doctor who'll prescribe the right custom fit mouthpiece based on your snoring level. Complete your appointment by February 14th to get the roses and a better night's sleep. For the right solution to help you both wake up to a better sleep, call 469-685-1700 or click simplesleepservices.com.
What if everyone watching the big game gave $1 or collected food to fight hunger and poverty in our local communities? Join Super Bowl of Caring and conduct a food drive. Donate at a participating grocery store or volunteer. 100% of donations benefit local hunger relief charities. Register your team at tacklehunger.org. Change the game for Texans in need at tacklehunger.org.
Super Bowl 53, Rams, Patriots. Hear it Sunday on DFW's home of the NFL, 105.3 The Fan.
Dallas Truck World has over 1,000 pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. They're all priced below market value. Check out DallasTruckWorld.com.
All right, thanks, Lucius. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Brian Broaddus is going to join us. But right now, it is Jeffrey time, El Tiempo con Effort.
Yeah, let's talk about sinkholes, attempted heists, and my guy Kyler. He's having himself some struggles today after this song.
Y'all need to take a hit of this Jeffrey.
I'm on the Jeffrey too.
Why the is it called a Jeffrey? That's the joy of the Jeffrey, you see. It goes away, but then it comes back.
Lucius, I'm an idiot. I should have talked to you in the break about this, but I'm an idiot. Did you see the thing that I sent you just a few minutes ago? You see the thing that I sent you?
Yeah, I deleted that, man. I don't want that in my phone, bro.
No, sir. No, sir. The other thing.
I got you.
Other thing.
I got you.
Yeah, I sent two things. The other one was supposed to go to Amanda. Yeah, sorry about that. And I wish it were in a better state when I sent it. So step one of what we're going to do here. And by the way, Kevin Turner of the Ben and Skin Show from 3 to 7 right here on The Fan is joining us for this edition of Jeffrey Time. You guys had Kyler Murray on yesterday.
Yeah.
And you were able to get words out of him. You can listen to it on 1053thefan.com. You had the big guest and you got some words out of him. So you guys did a wonderful job. I want you to know that.
He was so quiet, though. He was so quiet and reserved.
So I'm going to play audio of him on with Dan Patrick today. He was on the Dan Patrick show, and this is making the rounds. And I will tell you, Radio Row's a lot of fun because there's a bunch of famous people. There's a bunch of big-time athletes. You get to interview them. Our listeners get to hear from all these guys, and it's a whole lot of fun. But I think if you know what everyone's going to ask you about and you have no idea what the answer is going to be, you might just want to skip it.
Well, he needed that money from Mizzen and Main, the T-shirt company. That's what he was promoting. Some easy money coming his way there.
Okay, well, this is going to be Kyler Murray. What would you ask Kyler Murray about, Mike, if you had an interview with Kyler Murray?
I would say, hey, where are you leaning, NFL or MLB?
Right, good question.
I have no problem drawing the curtains all the way back for our listeners. We were told in our interview, you can ask about the decision. You can, but you can ask one, maybe a quick follow-up, but do not dominate the interview. We were told that. And because Kyler's kind of a local guy. We'd like to have him on again,
Talked about Alan.
You honor the rules.
Ben and Skin know his dad and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, okay, yeah, we'll abide by the rules here.
Okay.
I don't think Dan Patrick has repercussions.
Yeah.
Stuff
So
like
maybe,
that, Jeff.
you know what? Maybe the moral of the story here is that Dan Patrick's a big jerk. You decide after listening to 90 seconds of Kyler Murray on with Dan Patrick.
Are you going to the combine?
I don't know.
Well, wait. Dad, is he going to the combine? Dad had no comment there. Pro day?
I mean, that's after the combine.
Yeah, you're going to do a pro day? Yeah? Yeah.
I guess if you want to say yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. You can have a pro day, but that
would imply that I was going to play football.
Okay. So you're going to have a pro day? When do you report for the Oakland A's?
February 15th.
Oh, you knew that. Okay. So you're ready to go to do that. Wait, are you going to spring training?
I don't know.
Wait, you don't know? Dad, is he going to spring training? Another no comment here. You know these microphones are on right now. Like
yeah, I know.
I just said. All right. How tough is it that you're doing this with Gatorade, but every place you go is going to ask you the same questions?
I'm getting pretty good at answering, these questions.
No, you're not answering them.
Well, exactly.
You're shaking me off here.
Yeah, no.
I feel like I'm trying to tackle you.
No, yeah, everybody keeps asking the same question.
Yeah.
But, they'll soon be answered.
They'll soon be answered. So that's my guy. My guy who I love very much is having some struggles today. That's just a bad idea. Oh. Dad or management or whoever.
Yeah,
don't run me out there for this. Don't run me out there for this.
No. Yeah.
If we're not here to answer the only questions anyone has,
I know.
Let's stay home.
Release a statement.
Yeah, let's just stay home.
Maybe he got a bunch of money though from Gatorade though. How could I don't know how much money they offer.
I guess it's really tough. You should probably be coached on that one a little bit from your agent.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, I'm going to go through the process. It could be a little bit different. Like, so you don't answer it. You say, it could be a little bit different for me. We're working through it. So will I go to the combine? Will I have a pro day? That could be a little bit different for me because I plan on going. You'd have to say this because he knows February 16th. I don't know, but you kind of try to give very general, like I'm going to go through a different process because of my situation. And it's yet to be determined exactly how it's all going to go.
Can I get on the balancing beam here?
Come on.
Oh, the balancing beam. KT's back. You been drinking?
I said when we had him on, it was for Mizzen and Maine, the T-shirt company.
Now it's Gatorade.
Or not the T-shirt, the night shirt company. This was Gatorade. So who knows? But Gatorade might not have given Dan Patrick the – Gatorade's like, okay, this kid's our guy. It's Gatorade. We're a huge name.
Oh, ask him whatever you want.
Ask him whatever you want.
I will say this.
Make your decision before you go do the interviews, maybe. Maybe do that.
It's football. Gatorade's not sponsoring the 9th overall pick in baseball who's going to be in minor leagues for 3 years. And they're Mizzen and Maine. It's not the biggest shirt company, but it is a pretty big shirt company that's paying a lot of money to Phil Mickelson and stuff. They're not going to be like, hey, I know you won the Heisman. Can we give you millions of dollars to go play in the minor leagues for the next 2 to 4 years?
No, that's not going to happen.
He's going to the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I'm just confused as to why you can't give a little bit more information.
Yeah.
I think he must have gotten like super nervous. Maybe he was starstruck by Dan Patrick, or what was he like with you guys?
It was very, very quiet. I mean, if you're standing, we recorded us standing from me to you, 3 feet away. Okay. I couldn't hear him.
Wow.
Now he's talking into a microphone and made it work. But I'll also say this about an in-person observation. You guys kind of saw him too.
How tall was he, KT?
Well,
how tall are you?
Good. 5'7", 5'8".
You're 5'7", 5'8"?
5'10".
How tall? And he was shorter?
He was 5'8".
For sure?
Yeah.
Damn.
But he was more jacked in the upper body than I mean.
Well, he's trying to get over 190.
Yeah. But I was like, he was thick up top.
Yeah.
Good
for him.
Which was, it's like, okay, it's like getting ready to take a beating in football, I guess, right?
To me, he looks like the size of Doug Flutie. Yeah, I think if we saw Doug Flutie and him next to each other, they would look approximately the same. Obviously, Kyler, to your point, is going to be more jacked. He's 21, 22 years old, and Doug Flutie's old.
I think he was just kind of having like an anxiety attack,
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, I've been on the radio before in post games, I've done things, but this is, I don't know. Maybe
he's got to get with Travis Frederick.
Does he want?
He needs Travis Frederick to be like, listen, here's the thing. If we're ever going to do interviews, we're going to practice them.
Yeah.
We're going to prepare. We're going to throw every question at us that we could possibly hear, and we're going to be ready for. And here's the dumb thing:
is he trying to get his money from ML? Is he trying to keep his bonus and play in the NFL? Is that what's really tough? Is he wants to keep the $4.6 million and then get millions of dollars to play in the NFL?
Probably. I know somebody asked him
and
about.
That's really tough to do that act.
It may have been the Raiders station or something, but somebody asked him, like, if you were a Raider, how would it work out with something or other? And he was like, oh, we'd have to work it out with the Raiders and the A's. So I think in his mind, he would love to.
They're moving to Vegas.
Be able to do that. Yeah. So I don't know. And here's the dumb thing. KT knows about this dumb thing. And Gavin, you're going to hate this dumb thing.
Uh-oh.
Because it's old NFL people. But this is going to be a real thing. When he does go to the combine, he is now going to have a negative check mark where people are going to sit there and they're going to go, man, you were really unprepared.
Oh,
so you're going to be like quarterback, but the first big moment you had where you were trying to, interview and put on a great showing and inform people, entertain, like you were incredibly unprepared for that. What happened?
You can't get anxious in front of a team, and I don't know what his track record is like that, but if the anxiety pushes you to a point where your words aren't working, we know you're a smart kid. We know you talk to people. So if the pressure of the moment of being on Radio Row was too much, let's see how you interact, and if we see any signs of that, I'm going the other way.
Right.
The quarterback has to have 100%.
You got to check all of them.
Big man
I'm going to be
confidence.
Kyler Murray. Here's the deal, team I'm interviewing with. I'm trying to steal $5 million from the Oakland Athletics. Okay. I'm going to play in the NFL.
So how's this work?
How is he going to be able to steal it?
Yeah. How do you get both?
Go to spring training.
Okay.
Go through that process. I don't know all his contract obligations.
Be allowed to leave when it's training camp time.
Yeah. And then
be a football player till the season's
get
over.
The minimum amount. I do know this, but his contract's going to be different. A guy that I played with, Grant Sharp, and this was 1997. He was homesick, didn't want to play baseball. So after playing rookie ball for just getting drafted and playing that, he's like, I quit. He goes to spring training and he quits. They're like, well, here's the deal. Since you quit, you owe us your $150,000 back. He's like, wait. And like, yeah, it's in your contract. You have to play a certain amount of time. So he's like, all right. So he came back and he played that 1997 season and then looked at the contract. He's like, I filled my obligation. He's like, I quit baseball and got his $150,000 bonus. I don't know all of Kyler's deals. So there's going to be stuff in there that he's probably like, if I just hit these minimums, the minimum amount that I have to show up for the Oakland Athletics, I can steal $5 million from him.
Okay, that makes sense then. If you could pull that off. I did see a quote from him this morning. I don't know where it appeared, but he said, my dad's always said, keep your options as open as possible. And he said, and that's what I've been doing my entire career. So, maybe even though people are saying, you got to choose one, he's like, I'm not ready to choose yet. And I want to keep playing it out as long as possible. And in the process, maybe get some checks I don't have to give back.
Are you guys ready for your Kyler Murray fun fact of the day?
Yeah.
His dad is Kevin Murray, who's been really influential and at first even kind of coaching and mechanics of him as a quarterback before he's moved on to other people now, but very influential in his life. Fun fact about Kevin Murray, Kyler's dad. Remember when Randy Johnson killed a bird in a spring training game?
He was the batter?
Kevin Murray was at the plate.
Cool.
It was Kyler's dad when Randy Johnson killed a bird.
Must have been a hell of a view.
Just your fun fact of the day.
I wonder if he got hit by any feathers or
I don't know. I'd love to
bird
ask
bones.
him. I would love to ask him about that. What a weird place to be.
Now that Dane Brugler's done the work, and I know you guys are, get to talk to him a lot. I mean, a lot of the people that talk to teams are saying he's going to go in the first round. I don't know why
you don't go to the combine and don't have pro days.
True.
The number of teams that are going to be willing to take Kyler in the first round becomes minuscule.
It just seems like his love. He quit baseball to play football when he could have got $1 million out of high school.
Yeah.
To go in the draft. He was going to be a second or third round pick, most likely out of high school. If he was just a baseball guy, he chose football then. I assume he's going to choose football now. And yet he seems to, what
if he's 5'7" and he skips the combine and pro day because he doesn't want to be measured?
That's interesting. And that shouldn't matter.
And KT's out here telling people he's 5'8", being a jerk.
Shouldn't matter. What's interesting about all this is both of those sports won't even be happening in 2021 when they're at strike.
That's a great point.
No.
Another very
a lot
quick
of hockey talk on the fan in 2021.
Hopefully the Stars are getting it together by then.
Strike.
We'll talk politics.
Yeah, we just
That'll
need
go really
lights
well.
we need lights to call out our superstars a couple more times, get some good runs going. Very quick Jeffrey time news here. Florida man's in the news.
Uh-oh. Who'd he kill?
We had an attempted heist.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So they haven't found out who did it yet. All they found was the hole. Somebody called to be like, there's a sinkhole. And so people went out. And when people went out, people were like, okay, that's not a sinkhole. And then eventually they got it to the FBI and they came out. What we had was somebody went to where a Chase Bank is, walked 50 yards away, and dug a hole.
Okay.
Then they dug a tunnel.
All right.
Now, they think it was multiple people.
Maybe El Chapo's guys?
Yes. They say that the whole tunnel was only about 2.5 feet around. So if you were going down on all fours. And you were going claustrophobic style.
Oh, yeah.
How do you dig a tunnel that far?
They think that they got about 50 yards, but it never went up once it got under the bank.
Ooh.
And they said it ended right about at an ATM. So somebody was making the dumbest plan ever to tunnel from 50 yards away where anyone could see you go into the ground to an ATM, dig the hole up, pull out the ATM, which won't fit in your tunnel. You'd then have to enlarge your tunnel. Then you would have to enlarge your tunnel a lot at the turn point there so you could pull it through. All of this to move it 50 yards.
Yeah.
Do a smash and grab if
There
you're
you
looking
go.
for an ATM. Just put it in the back of the truck.
Uh-huh.
You got a much better chance of success.
Wrap a chain around it, drive off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Florida man had a plan, but they found the sinkhole, and I don't think they'll ever be able to complete the project.
Wow. Florida man has outdone himself this time.
Yeah, tough break.
Okay, when we come back, it'll be time for some Brian Broaddus conversation here on your home of the Cowboys. In the meantime, Frankel and the team at 1-800-Lawyers are the official lawyers of the Tolo. And if you're in an accident this winter, maybe it gets slick out there on the streets this weekend, bam, you get hit, call Scott and Mark Frankel immediately, 1-800-Lawyers. You need some guys in your corner when you get hurt, and they will be there immediately for you. They'll advise you from the scene of the accident. For us, they came out to the house the next day, and they were great. They made sure that we got the best medical care available, and they can do that for you even if you don't have health insurance, vehicle repair bills, lost wages. The bill to put everything back together after an accident can be huge. I've seen them get into six figures. The Frankels will make sure that money doesn't come out of your pocket because, again, the accident was not your fault, okay? It is still winter, even though we're into February, and it might get real slick here the rest of the month, maybe even into early March, they're saying. So if you're hurt and it's not your fault, call Scott and Mark Frankel, the official lawyers of the Tolo, at 1-800-Lawyers.
The one place to grab the fan wherever you go. Radio.com. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
This CBS Sports Minute brought to you by the snoring experts at simplesleepservices.com. Get the right diagnosis, the right solution, the right treatment to help you wake up to better sleep.
This is John Feinstein with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Blue Emu. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink. Here's how bad it is for the New York Knicks right now. Not only is the team 10-40 after losing to the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday for its 11th straight loss, nobody really seems to care. The Knicks are awful. Has become a given, sort of like the Patriots being good. Everyone just shrugs and moves on. How bad are things in Madison Square Garden? The Brooklyn Nets have become the team people in New York are talking about. It probably got worse yesterday when the Knicks traded their one real star, 23-year-old Kristaps Porzingis, to Dallas, getting in return Dennis Smith and two players on expiring contracts. The move was designed to clear cap space and net 2 future first-round picks. Those picks are years from now, but Porzingis, recovering from ACL surgery, wanted out. So the Knicks granted his wish. The good news, things really can't get much worse. I'm John Feinstein.
CBS Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Mike Dicker. Some days, even Iron Mike feels a little rusty, so I turn to Blue Emu. Blue Emu's non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula gets down deep for big-time comfort. And more importantly, doesn't leave me smelling like a locker room. Blue Emu works fast and won't stink.
At AutoZone, helping you get more done is what we do best. Like with the AutoZone Rewards program. You'll earn a $20 reward every time you spend $20 or more 5 times. And right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline Advanced Synthetic or full synthetic high mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for $22.99 after a $7 AutoZone gift card by mail. Upgrade to a K&N filter for $3 more. Visit any of our 5,600 locations nationwide and let us do more for you. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
From a dog accidentally flooding a living room to a dog taking a joyride, we've covered it. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. Right now, get your first month supply for free. All you pay is just $5 for your medical consultation when you go to forhims.com/order. After that, it's just $30 for a month's supply. Sure beats paying big bucks for just one blue pill, doesn't it? Plus, you won't need an awkward in-person doctor's appointment to get the prescription. Hims has doctors online who can prescribe the medication, and a pharmacy sends it right to your door. It's affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To get your first order for just $5, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/order. That's forhims.com/order for your first month for just $5. forhims.com/order.
Nothing says I love you like a diamond. For centuries and across cultures, it's remained the universal symbol of love, romance, and commitment. And at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's, we're making it easier than ever to celebrate your love with diamond jewelry she'll cherish for a lifetime. Join us February 4th through the 14th for our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down on any purchase. Choose from a special expanded selection of the most romantic gifts, rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and bands. Get the guaranteed best price and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And yes, all engagement rings are included. So come on, make it an unforgettable day for her with a special gift that symbolizes your love and commitment like nothing else. It's Diamonds Direct Spectacular Valentine's Celebration with in-store appearances from top jewelry designers, an expanded selection including gifts as low as $200 and 5 years 0 interest financing on approved credit. February 4th through the 14th only, and only at Diamonds Direct.
Preston Road and Cherry Lane.
This is Rangers manager Chris Woodward, and you're listening to the home of the Rangers, 105.3 The Fan, KRLD FM, and HD1 Dallas-Fort Worth.
A radio.com station. Live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. You're rolling with DFW's #1 midday show, the G-Bag Nation, on 105.3 The Fan.
It's hour number 4 of the G-Bag Nation, and as we do every Friday right here on your home of the Cowboys, we talk with Brian Broaddus. He is at Brian Broaddus on Twitter, a must-follow for Cowboy fans. And a special treat today, we have KT from the Ben and Skin Show sitting down with us in our Diamonds Direct hot seat. We're going 5 wide here.
All right. Talladega.
Oh, Skin and Ben used to go 3 deep.
What?
I think that was 3 wide.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 wide.
It was kind of like 2.5, though.
There's a lot of coughing in those segments.
Touch all 4.
It was weird. Throat clearing. Here we go. It is time for Broaddus here. You can read his stuff at DallasCowboys.com. And how you doing, Brian?
Doing well, boys. Looking forward to having you guys come home here pretty soon. How about that?
Yeah, we can't wait, man. Atlanta's been pretty decent, though.
Good. Good.
Brian, do you watch the Super Bowl?
I do watch the Super Bowl, believe it or not.
Oh, that's the one game you watch. All right.
Yeah, the thing about it is, I'll tell you why I'm going to watch it this year, because I was invited to go watch it. But I'm usually the guy that would go up to the Star or at Valley Ranch, wherever we were, and I would just kind of have it on in the background, and I would sit down and watch college tape. Maybe bang through 3 or 4 guys and just kind of listen to the game or check it on my phone. But this year I was actually invited somewhere, and if somebody's going to invite me to go, I generally will say sure, and go watch it. But there's been a lot of times where I don't do that, and so but this year I'm going to do it and try and enjoy it a little bit.
Lucky person to have brought us at your Super Bowl party. That'd be pretty cool.
Well,
in your brain.
I tell you what, I have there's a lot of folks that we all kind of watch the playoff games. KT, Jeff, we watch the playoff games. That's a lot of fun. I mean, when you get guys and gals that all kind of know football, it's fun to because when the Saints game came down to the end, we were all trying to have, what kind of strategy would you use here? And if you get with a room, like you say, there's a lot of times where people will act like they know football, but I tend to go with people that do know football. That's kind of where I kind of draw the line a little bit.
Man, shots fired at KT. There's a lot of great Cowboy situations popping up even while we're here getting ready for the Super Bowl. The one that I wonder about the most is, it sounds like, and you can correct me if you think I'm going to end up wrong here, but Kellen Moore, I believe, is going to be calling the plays. And
he will call the plays.
And it's going to be his first time doing that.
Right.
Is it easy to practice something like that where you're on a clock and it's like, bang, situation, call the play, bang, situation, call the play?
Yeah, I think with Kellen, he's been around football enough where, you look at what he was able to do at Boise, he's always been a career backup guy when he was playing. So he kind of understands the rhythm of having to call a game or how you would call a game. The pressure's a little bit different, as you're going along. But the really good play callers can get into a flow of a game. I remember, again, my experience with like a guy like Mike Holmgren, and I was in a situation in Green Bay where, Mike Holmgren would, he had Andy Reid on the staff. He had John Gruden on the staff. If Mike got stuck calling plays, he would just kind of say, hey, Andy, John, take a series here, and then let me get back in some rhythm here. So, I think that's what Kellen Moore is going to have. It's going to be a really important offseason for him because between him, I'm getting the word that you're going to get John Kitna is going to be the install guy. And when I mean install, that's going to be the guy that's going to kind of come up with ideas, the teaching, get the board ready. And then Kellen Moore is going to be the guy with with working with Kitna and then also, working with Nussmeier, that he's going to be the one that's going to have the say in what play they run. So, yeah, installation is going to be real key for Kitna. And then the rhythm that Kellen Moore is going to be able to get into. And, they'll have some preseason games too. Now, it won't be with, all the first unit all the time and stuff, but at least Kellen will have that opportunity. And he's been around football long enough and been around coordinators and himself and like that he can kind of understand what he needs to do.
Brian, you brought up John Kitna there, and there's a great video on Twitter where he's explaining that Mike Martz was coaching him one day, and John Kitna kept taking the check down, and Mike was so disappointed. He said, man, I can't coach scared. And John said he learned more in 2 years from Martz as far as being aggressive and, throwing it down the field. And I just wonder how that goes, with a head coach who doesn't want the turnover, a quarterback that plays to avoid the turnover. Do you think John Kitna is being brought in there to encourage Dak to get more aggressive in some situations?
Yeah, I think guys like Jason Garrett wanted to be aggressive. I really do. And I think there was a time this year where he became frustrated with what was going on with what was going on with Scott Linehan. And I think there was a point in time in the season where he said, hey, listen, we've got to play who we need to play, and we got to figure this out, and we got to try and do some more things here. And I think one of the reasons why that Scott Linehan's not here anymore is because Jason Garrett didn't agree with what he was doing offensively. He really didn't. And I don't think there's anything about being scared or anything like that. I just think that Jason Garrett wanted to do some things differently in the offense, and Scott was really resistant to the change. And I was hearing from people that they had, whether it was Kellen Moore or Nussmeier or anybody was having difficulty getting to Scott saying, hey, we need to do this differently. We need to do this. He was very resistant to change. And I think, that's where this divorce became true, is because of that. And Jason Garrett wanting to take more of an aggressive approach here, with the game plan. And this is why, Kellen Moore will come in here and, Kellen Moore's a young coach, and what he'll do is he'll steal ideas. All the young coaches around the league steal ideas. And so he's going to look at film this spring, and he's going to say, okay, this would fit for us. This would fit for us. And, if that means taking a more aggressive approach, I think that's what you're going to see.
So Brian, that's really interesting. Does Jason feel like he could be having an extension withheld because of the conservative offense that he didn't even want?
No, I think that Jerry Jones said it. He's expecting more. Jerry Jones is not getting any younger, and Mike Fisher drew him off sides the other day. He called in because, Fisher said, whoa, wait, this is Stephen Jones's money that's being spent right now. Jerry wants to win in the worst way. He said it. He goes, I want to go to a Super Bowl with my team. That's what he wants to do. So, the whole idea here right now is, Jason Garrett has not delivered that. They've delivered, very few playoff wins. They've had some division titles, and that's been good. But, the whole idea is once you get in the tournament is find a way to be a difference maker to get this team to the Super Bowl and compete and win a Super Bowl. And I think that's ultimately why that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are saying, listen, if you can't deliver on that, then I will find somebody that can.
So as far as the way that this offense is going to work, something we talked about a little bit earlier, and I do think it would be a little bit nuts if a third or fourth year quarterback doesn't have the ability to audible, and I know that Dak does.
He does.
But was Scott Linehan sort of resistant to that, or was Dak resistant to that?
I don't know that, Jeff. I don't know. I think there were things. I've talked to some coaches around the league that very first year that Dak was involved, and they were his rookie year, and those coaches were like, "Gosh, well, how cool is it to have a quarterback that doesn't check out of any plays?" How cool is it? And you think about everybody. Dan Rogers was talking about Romo. And he's saying, hey, Romo overcame what Scott Linehan was doing. Scott Linehan sends in a play. Romo says, I don't think so. And I've talked to a bunch of play callers, a bunch of head coaches that say it's really cool to have a guy that doesn't check all your plays, And so I think that Dak Prescott, they felt comfortable enough with him to have to make changes. Is he Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers? No, he's not that kind of guy. But you know what? Some of the things that they asked him to do, he's capable of doing. And, I don't think that was really the total bottom line there, Jeff.
Brian, being here in Atlanta, talking to a lot of people, I feel like they've summed up all our Cowboy questions that it is a successful team with an unsuccessful offensive system. Would you say that's fair from everybody we've talked to?
It's okay. The last 8 weeks of the season, I thought like they got better. It's an offense that with personnel that can do things. If you have the ability to run the football, and if you don't play receiver by committee, and you have a primary receiver, and you have some supplementary parts to the offense, it could be a good offense. The problem they had is the red zone stuff. If they would have just been, good in the red zone, I think everybody would have been happy with the offense. It was the red zone stuff that made everybody cringe. So, I think that there's things that is there things that they could take from what they had last year? Absolutely. But they need more. They need more. Now, I don't know if it's more creativity. I know they need more execution. I know they need better execution for sure. But, maybe some new ideas, maybe some ways to create some more routes and things like that. But, the offense, I think the last 8 weeks of the season, they were doing some things that was pretty good offensively, I thought.
Do we need to encourage Jerry? I know after we talked to Steven, I think it was last week, and he was talking about probably not going to be players for a big free agent. Do we need to we need to poke Jerry and try to get after Earl here?
Well, the thing about Earl, me personally, this is Brian Broaddus now, failed scout, now working on the radio on 105.3. That scout, I want to go try and talk to Earl Thomas, at least say, you know what, Earl, this is what we got. We can give you this for this many years. Are you interested? You wanted to play with us last year. You kind of talked about being, a Cowboy. You ran across the locker room. You hugged the coach and all that. This is what I can do. And if it's not good enough, if it's not the right money for it, you did what you had to do. But I don't think you sit there and say, okay, we're going to just kind of put, out there a huge offer and try and money whip Earl Thomas. I think within reason, you got to look at his age. I think you got to look at the number of years. I think you got to look at the number of guaranteed. I'm going to see if Earl Thomas is interested in playing for me at a certain price. If he's not, and I'm not going to lowball him, but I'm going to sure make him an offer to make him see if he wants to play it. You have a great recruiter in Chris Richard. Chris is going to tell him, hey, there's a lot of young kids here, man. You're going to love these kids. You come here, you can play, you can be a leader, you can be a mentor to these guys. Why don't we give this thing a run? And let's see if it happens.
Hey, so we got a gbag Nation person on Radio Row.
There's an actual Tolo on Radio Row right now. This is awesome.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out to her brother.
So I'm trying to, well, that's why I got flustered there trying to remember what I was talking to you about. I was in on the idea of Earl Thomas because I think you could play him with Xavier Woods. Are you comfortable with that idea?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm in. Me and Ben Rogers, I was on, KT will tell you this. We had an afternoon where Ben's like, yeah, I'm on. And I'm saying, Ben, you and I are in the covered wagon and we're riding across the Rockies. The snow is flying and all that. We're kind of out here by ourselves. But yeah, I'm totally on board with, but it has to be within what you want to do. They missed the opportunity. They tried to trade for him. John Schneider didn't want to make the deal. So, you move on. Now he's unrestricted. Well, let's see. I'm going to use Chris Richard as a recruiter, and I'm going to see how much he really wants to play for the Dallas Cowboys.
there's a lot of big-time NFL people here, and every one of them has had tons of respect for Dak Prescott as a player. Is that the same with the people you chat with around the league, and was that the case around Week 9?
Oh, yeah. They, people respect. You know why they respect this guy? Because he'll lay it out on the line every week. You know, he reminds me of that guy I was with in Green Bay. He might not have the talent of that guy in Green Bay, the Brett Favre, but he has the guts and the heart and the determination. That's all you can ask. You know, if you get into a game, if you get into a game situation, all you want to have is your quarterback to potentially deliver at the end of the game if he has to. And I think that's the one thing that Dak Prescott's been able to do. He could look like a bag of you-know-what the whole game, and then all of a sudden kind of figure things out in the fourth quarter. That's a trait that a lot of these first-round quarterbacks don't have. You know, they don't. I mean, this kid has had to struggle and fight and do everything he could to kind of maintain. Listen, the best example of this of all time, and Jeff and KT will understand this because they watch Mississippi State film. When Dak Prescott graduated from Mississippi State and moved on, all the scouts went back into Mississippi State and said, well, where's all this talent he's playing with? Where are all these guys he's playing? Yeah, that team was number one in the country at one time. You know, Dak Prescott had risen